345-1214. Do you suffer?
Good morning, everyone.
Maybe you do and you don't even know it. Do you have numbness, pain, burning, or tingling in your hands and feet? Muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching. Are you not sleeping? Does it feel like pins and needles in your hands and
Well, we got a lot to talk about today.
The symptoms can make life unbearable, but there is help at the Lighthouse Medical Center. Call 754-222-6642 for a no-charge consultation and say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms.
I'm still setting up.
6642. Online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. Attention seniors, protect yourself and your loved ones from losing your
We were talking before the show off the air here, and I didn't get completely set up. Yeah, ready to go now. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Everyone, please like the video.
Find out why at Attorney Barry Siegel's free Living Trust Seminar. To make your reservation for this free Living Trust Seminar, call the Siegel Law Group right now. Toll free 1-855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. Seating will be limited, so call now to reserve your seat. 1-855-352-3782. 1-855-352-3782.
All right, guys, it's showtime.
Now, here's Steve Kane.
All right, welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 45 years on the radio this year, the Steve Kane Show. Welcome to the program, and man, do we have a lot to talk about today. Of course, we're going to talk about everything that's going on with Russia and Ukraine, and there are developments which we will explore on the program today. But I'm going to start off talking about Ketanji, our Supreme Court nominee here, Ketanji Brown Jackson. Yesterday she was brought to tears by Cory Booker, and I'm not going to play all the sound bites of Ted Cruz and all that. We did a lot of that yesterday. Your calls on her certainly are continued to be welcomed on the program on yesterday's subject matter with the Supreme Court hearing, because that even got worse yesterday. But I wanted to, in particular, talk about what happened with Ketanji and Cory Booker. She was brought to tears by Cory Booker. And I've got two clips of Cory Booker. Okay, this is the first one. Let me play this. This is Cory Booker yesterday praising her. Again, remember, this is after all the soft sentencing thing on those very bad guys came out. So this is Cory Booker talking to Ketanji.
Harry Tubman. It's one of my heroes because the more I read about this person, the more, she was she faced starvation, chased by dogs, and when she got to freedom, what did she do? Did she rest? No, she went back. Again and again and again. The sky was full of stars, but she found one that was a harbinger of hope for better days, not just for her and those people that were enslaved, but a harbinger of hope for this country. And she never gave up on America. She fought led troops in the Civil War. She was involved in the suffrage movement. And as I came back from my run, after being near assaulted by someone on the street, I thought about her. And how she looked up. She kept looking up. No matter what they did to her, she never stopped looking up. And that star, it was a harbinger of hope. Today, you're my star. You are my harbinger of hope. This country is getting better and better and better. And when that final vote happens, and you ascend onto the under the highest court in the land, I'm going to rejoice.
Okay, that's Cory Booker, who brought himself to tears, and Ketanji Brown Jackson had a tear come down her right cheek when that happened. Okay, I want to talk about this because I think it's an important point to make. I was not going to talk about her on the program today until Cory Booker brought this up. Now, Harriet Tubman, let me tell you something. Harriet Tubman is one of the greatest Americans who would ever lived. And just for those that are not familiar with Harriet Tubman, because, hey, you know, I don't know, you don't hear her name as much as you used to in this woke society of people with all kinds of degrees that truly are not educated. But Harriet Tubman was a slave. She escaped, and she was with the Underground Railroad. After her escape, she would go back down into the Democrat-controlled pre-Civil War antebellum South, infiltrate slave plantations that were, these Democrat plantations, and then she would lead through the Underground Railroad slaves to freedom in the North. And she's a great American. I've grown up my whole life learning and admiring Harriet Tubman. One of the greatest Americans that have ever lived, and maybe the greatest American woman that has ever lived. And I don't even think that's up for debate. But Cory Booker was comparing Ketanji to Harriet Tubman. Ketanji was brought to tears because she views herself as Harriet Tubman. One of our listeners, D, made a very good point yesterday, and what D had said, because what we were, this talk yesterday with these, if you're on hold, stand by, I'll get to the calls in just a bit, but I want to make this point first because I think it's very, very important. D made a very interesting point about Ketanji yesterday. And all of this discussion of the victims in these cases where she gave light sentences to very disgusting criminals, and there was some talk, have you ever talked to victims? Or what about, are you ever sorry for the victims? You said you were sorry for this creep, and all this stuff. Ketanji views herself as a victim of our society. She is a woman who has been a federal judge for almost 10 years. She's nominated for the Supreme Court of the United States, and she's got sadly, she's got a good chance of getting on the Supreme Court of the United States. And she's a graduate of Harvard University. She's a graduate of Harvard Law School. A graduate of Harvard Law School. And she's still a victim. And, that's crazy. That's crazy. She views herself as a victim of a racist society. If you look up her bio, she has never wanted or worried about anything in her life. Now, she may have studied hard and stuff in school and was worried about grades. She has never wanted or for anything in her life. What I mean is, she's had a blessed life, better than most Americans. A Harvard law degree is the golden ticket to life. A Harvard law degree is like winning the lottery. Because your whole path is ahead of you. You've got anything, you're part of the club, and whatever you want, you got it. That Harvard law degree is a very powerful thing. Worldwide, federal judge, nominated for the Supreme Court, and she's still a victim. And this is about we're in a post-racial country. Racism, discrimination that Martin Luther King and John Lewis, Harriet Tubman, and others fought against is gone from our society. But the left have brainwashed minorities, even minorities that are nominated for the Supreme Court of the United States and have Harvard law degrees, that they're still victims of a racist society and that everybody hates them, and she's fighting a struggle. She's not fighting a damn thing. Everything is handed to her because she's got a Harvard degree and she's a black woman. She's made it for life. She's never going to have a worry or a want nor will her family. But she still views herself, who the hell does she think she is, and Cory Booker, to compare her to Harriet Tubman? You know, when Harriet Tubman would, after she escaped and would go down to the South on plantations and rescue slaves from those Democrat plantations, was risking her life each and every day, even when she returned to the North because of the fugitive slave laws that the Democrats had in place. What has Ketanji or Cory Booker ever risked? How disgusting to compare her to Harriet Tubman. And you know, we were talking yesterday that she's got some type of mental problems. She certainly does when she views herself as a victim with everything that she's had and everything she has and everything she's going to have. And if someone at that level, who's a minority, believes they're a victim, a regular person, what do they think? Because Harvard law graduates are not regular people. They've got the whole door open to them of the world, right? Boy, you know, the left-wing propaganda and what it has done to minorities in this country that are liberal in their mindset, it's disturbing. I almost felt sorry for her yesterday that she thinks she's overcoming a struggle. The president comes out and says, I'm picking a black woman, boom, that's it, and it's done. And because she's a black woman who thinks she's Harriet Tubman, even though the sick, twisted stuff came out about her incredibly light sentences to these worst of our society, most people, I'm the only person that said that her nomination and getting on the court is in jeopardy. Everyone everywhere says she's still going to. Why? Because she's a black female Democrat. That's why. So this tear down her cheek, she's got so many hang-ups, this woman. And she's not alone. She's not alone. And and for her in that position to view herself as a victim, oh my goodness. Thinking that she is a Harriet Tubman-like figure. She's lost. She's lost. And you know what? So's Cory Booker. All right, our number 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Louisiana.
Hey, Louisiana. What's up?
Hey, man. You all right this morning?
I'm all right every morning.
That's good. That's good. Hey, I want to say something to you. That's good. Okay, I want to say this to you this morning. Do you think Ketanji Jones had it easy in life? Do you think every black person had it easy in life? No, we did not. We fought hard. We still fight hard because this is a racist country. You may not think it's a racist country, but it's a racist country.
Okay, tell me Tell me the last time that you fought hard for something that was race-related, that you had to overcome racial adversity. The last time. You said you're still fighting, so share the last time.
Job, bro. I see it every...
Okay, your job. Okay, tell me. Okay, you've had racial adversity at your job recently that you fought against and overcame. Tell me the story in detail, please. I want to hear. Yeah, because it didn't happen. Because it's a lie. Because it's so. Wait a minute. You're telling me that you work for racists and you're going to cover for them and allow those racists to continue in their position? You said you've overcome. Because
it's done so covert. It's done. Hello.
Oh, it's covert. It's so covert we wouldn't see it. Maybe it's invisible. Do you know it's tough? Do you think it's tough for me in life? Okay, and I'm a white boy.
Yes, it is.
It's tough. You know what? It's tough for everyone in life. It's unless you got a Harvard law degree.
Because you are a white boy. You have.
Oh no! You can't call me. Oh, excuse me. I can refer to myself as a white boy. You cannot. That is a racial slur coming from you. That's a racial slur coming from you. African Americans cannot call white guys white boys. That is racist. But I'm the white guy. I can say it.
Okay, you can say it. That's fine. I'm not gonna call myself the other word.
No, I'm not. Excuse me. Gee whiz. So you're telling me that you have overcome racism at your work recently, but you're not going to tell us what happened, that these racist...
Every day.
Oh, you see, okay, when is the last time you saw racism? When is the last time you saw racism?
I'm looking at it this morning. I'm looking at it this morning with you.
Oh, with me. No, excuse me. You say that you see racism everywhere that you're fighting against. Tell me the last time you saw racism.
I see it every day. I see it every day.
Give me the most... Don't say me. Give me an example.
Because you...
Oh, me.
You sit up there. You sit up there every day. You sitting up there talking about black people and got it made in this world. No, we don't.
Ketanji Brown Jackson does. I didn't say you.
Fight every...
What are you talking about? She's got a Harvard Law degree. She's been a federal judge for 9 years.
It was easy for her to...
Yes! Yes! Because her family, because she always had... Yes, because she had an easy life. That's okay.
Didn't. No,
All right, tell me about her struggles then. Tell me about her struggles in life.
I could tell her about the struggle because she's a black woman. And
Oh, she's a black woman.
the day she came to this world, she had it hard.
Oh, really?
No, because there's people...
So you just assume because she's black that she's had a hard life? Where's she from? Where did she grow up? Do you even know?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't even know where she grew up, but you know she had a hard life.
I'm just saying in general, all black women have it hard, bruh.
Everyone has it hard, bruh.
Your daughter gonna have it hard.
No, my daughter doesn't have it hard. She's not a victim like you.
Yes, she is. She's a victim. She's a victim. She's a victim. And you don't think she is, but she is. She's a victim. Hello?
Yeah, I'm still here. You know, when she was growing up, her father was the chief attorney for the school district of Miami. He had a big fat cat job. She grew up well-to-do and wealthy.
You had it hard in life, too?
No.
What is...
No. Well, then tell me what racial... Okay. Then share with me what racial difficulties she had growing up. Please be specific so we can discuss.
I don't know, Gumshoe.
Well, if you don't know, how can you say that she had?
She's a black woman, brother. Black women have it hard in this country, bro. Fight.
Oh.
More than black men do.
Okay. Tell me about the last time that you had to fight to overcome racial injustice.
Because I see it every day.
Okay, the last time you saw racial injustice...
Take a test on the job that white boys passed and the black boys didn't pass because they wanted them on the job.
You had to take a test? I've had to take tests. Everybody takes tests.
Well, why the majority of the white boys passed and the majority of the black people didn't pass?
What test is this?
It's a test that we have on our job.
What? And you can't pass the test?
I passed it.
Okay, so black people can pass the test.
After the third time, because they didn't have a choice, they had to.
Yeah, third time. Do you know who John F. Kennedy Jr. was? President Kennedy's son? Okay. Do you know how, he failed the bar exam after he graduated college. He had to take the bar exam, I think, 3 times. He had to take the bar exam 3 times. Not all white people just pass tests. I failed tests. My first class when I went to college, my first class I took at the university in my major, I took an exam. My first major exam in college, I got an F on. I was heartbroken. Okay, so what I'm telling you is white people fail tests too.
They do.
That's not racial injustice. That's not racial injustice.
When you see majority of the white people pass the test and the majority of the black people don't pass the test, that's a racial injustice.
Not necessarily, if what you're saying is true, and I don't believe it's true. I think you're just making stuff up to try to save yourself.
That's position over here. That's position on my job.
Uh-huh.
Black guy.
Yeah.
The hottest black.
Well, maybe the people that are failing the test, okay, are not qualified, and that's why they're failing the test. Are they failing the test because they don't know the answers, or are they being failed even though they had the answers? So are you telling me that Are you telling me that a racist test taker are marking correct answers wrong to fail blacks on your job?
Yes, they God, they doing.
Okay. So now I want to tell you. Slow down. So there is a racist test grader at your job. Oh, they just hung up. I did not hang up on them. They just hung up in the middle of their fictitious story. Well, I'll tell you where I was going to go next with that call. I was going to tell them this racist, by the way, this story is not true, but if there is a job at work, it's probably computerized and scored automatically by the computer. But anyway, just going with their lying story there, where I was going to go with that is this, okay? And they hung up on me. I did not hang up on them. They're telling me, and I say they because I don't know if that was a man or a woman, honestly. I think maybe a woman, I'm not sure. There's a racist test grader at their job who is failing black people because they're black and passing whites because they're white, marking correct answers wrong on tests taken by African American workers and marking incorrect answers correct on the white test, right? And this fictitious story. So what my next question was going to be, when you reported this racial injustice to the Louisiana NAACP, what was the reaction you got from them? And there was some other steps I was going to go. I'm not going to tell you the rest, but total fiction, okay? And that's why they hung up, because they knew it was about to fall apart. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. That's right, on the radio since 1977. My name is Brian Craig. Back after this.
Hi folks, Dr. Matez here, now with the Biostation West Delray. At Biostation West Delray, we continue to offer the highest level of experience and care you can find in the realm of hormone pellet and hormone replacement therapies. But that's just the start. We offer a full array of age management modalities, including state-of-the-art treatments for erectile dysfunction, sexual dysfunction in women, physical and sexual rejuvenation, and quite frankly, any sign or symptom of aging that you may have. And don't forget, we offer the complete array of all cosmetic modalities, including Botox, fillers, lasers, etc. Better energy,
oh my goodness,
better sleep, better performance, and looks to die for. If this all sounds good to you, call us at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
Hi, Brian Craig here. I'm in studio with my
oh my
Kathy,
goodness,
and she's here to tell you about her experience with the MyPillow mattress topper.
Well, as you know, Brian, I was waking up in pain.
LLG, 3PE, $10 super chat. Thank you. Everyone thank LLG for that $10 super chat. Thomas Sowell said it best. Racism is not dead, but it is on life support, kept alive by politicians, race hustlers, and people who get a sense of superiority by denouncing others as racist. And right on the money with that.
Huge difference for me. And the pain has not returned.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. Now go to MyPillow.com and order your MyPillow mattress topper and do what Kathy and I did. Use the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. And this is an incredible deal because with the promo code KANE, you will save 30% off the MyPillow mattress topper and get 2 free MyPillows. But you've got to use the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. It comes in every size too, from twin all the way up to California King. That's promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
Oh, yeah, and got a big announcement from Mike Lindell at MyPillow. By the way, that 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper, 30% off, and you get 2 free MyPillows when you use our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. And there is a new offer with every purchase at MyPillow. And how this came to be, they were offering something with certain purchases, and then I called Mike Lindell's office yesterday and talked to them about this, and they did something amazing for us. Okay, listen to this. With every purchase at MyPillow, no matter what product you're buying or what special you're taking advantage of, okay, this is in addition to the deal on the special. Do you know what they're including for Steve Kane listeners now when you use our promo code KANE? With every purchase of MyPillow, on top of whatever special you take advantage of, with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, you get a free copy of Mike Lindell's autobiography, What Are the Odds? From Crack Addict to CEO, absolutely free with your purchase with our promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, no matter what MyPillow product you were purchasing, and you still get this special. That's on top of the special deal you're getting. Isn't that something? And I have that book. I've read that book. It is amazing. So you get Mike Lindell's book free with every purchase, no matter what item, no matter what product you're buying at MyPillow.com. You can just use our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Good morning, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. It's Vanessa from Indiana.
Hey, Vanessa.
The BW in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I did a lot of research lately on Stephen Beyer. They're saying he's nonpartisan, which,
yeah,
reading his opinions, I don't think so. And they've also got Ketanji Brown Jackson as his successor already.
Yes. Really? Oh, that's amazing. Don't they have to vote first?
Yeah, you would think so. And that was just a quick Google search. So.
Wow, that's amazing.
I'm sure your last caller was a woman because she couldn't wait to put a black man down. You know, that is a horrific lie. That is a lie.
Mm.
Saying that black men have it easier than the women. Lyndon Baines Johnson took care of that a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Different topic. So the Republicans can't filibuster on this, but you know, I'm very concerned that she might just get in.
It's 50-50. You know, they need, because everybody is just assuming. I'm not assuming anything. I've followed a lot of hearings for different people on different posts that they've been, cabinet positions, judges, and all this stuff. I've never seen one as disastrous as this one this week. And yesterday was another disaster. I mean, look at this one, okay? She went to college with an Al-Qaeda terrorist, okay? Then she just coincidentally, she was a public defender for the federal court. Coincidentally, she was the public defender defending this Al-Qaeda terrorist in Guantanamo Bay that she went to college with. Then she left the public defender's office, went to the private law firm, and defended 4 Al-Qaeda terrorists, including the guy that she went to college with. Now, you know, what are the odds that she went to college with an Al-Qaeda guy that she ended up representing that was in Guantanamo Bay? I mean, on top of, you know, this woman's got a lot of problems, and she's got a lot of emotional problems, thinking she's Harriet Tubman.
Oh, exactly. I love the way Ted Cruz laid it down by percentages. He brought it all out. And Kennedy and Blackburn, wow.
Well, they need, the Democrats, see, this isn't like a normal Senate majority, okay? The Senate is split. They need to get 50 Democrat senators to vote to confirm her, and then they'll get... Kamala will be the tiebreaker vote. You know, to get 50 senators to vote to confirm her after what came out with the sentencing with the kiddie pornographers, that seems to be tough to me.
Mm-hmm. And Cory Booker bringing out those crocodile tears. Let me tell you, a woman like myself can cry at the drop of a hat. Well,
you know what? I'll tell you what Ketanji's dealing with. Why she came down and she was tearing up yesterday. Why she's upset. This is the first time in her life that she's ever been questioned, that she's ever been held accountable, that she's ever had the possibility of not getting everything she's wanted in the world. First time. She's 51 years old. She's never heard no. She's never been challenged. She's had everything handed to her. She's not earned nor worked for anything. She's connected. Always has been connected. She's grown up from with privilege. You know, hey, lots of people grow up privileged. Don Jr. and Ivanka grew up privileged, but they're nice, decent people. She has never faced adversity or criticism in her life. Now, for the first time, she's being held accountable for things she said and done, and that's why she's breaking down. She does it, and she calls it racism because, what else could it be? It can't be her.
Her non-answers were loud and clear to me.
Oh, yeah. And, yeah, go ahead.
When you cannot describe what a woman is.
A person with a vagina, that's a woman. A person with a vagina, right?
Well, of course.
Okay, I mean, I'm not a biologist or anything, but that's right?
Exactly.
I don't say a uterus because not all women have those.
Well, that's close enough.
Yeah, so I mean,
Logically born a male. I am a female. It's that clear.
Well, the reason that's an important question is because this is going to be an issue brought up before the Supreme Court. We have this cheater, Leah Thomas, who won all these championships, and eventually these cases are going to make their way to the Supreme Court. Women are going to go to the Supreme Court and challenge this thing that's going on in professional sports now, in women's sports, and it's important for someone to have a definition of what a man and a woman is on the Supreme Court when such things come to the court. And Marsha Blackburn, who I've had on my podcast as a guest, she's pretty sharp. She's a pretty sharp woman, and that question was a brilliant question because it's very similar to that last caller I was talking to. When I'm asking them questions, there's certain questions when you're talking to a liberal, they're done, right? Because she can't say what I said, because a whole bunch of Democrats will say, well, that's not what a woman is. It's not just having a vagina. There's other things that could make someone a woman. You know what I mean? She'd be in trouble with the lunatic left. So she couldn't answer that question. Ridiculous.
I'm done. I cannot believe she might even pass.
It's 50-50. It's 50-50. It really is. If it were not for the war in Ukraine, she would have a less likely of a chance. But there's a lot, like this big thing that Biden's doing today and everything. It's going to detract the news cycle and people's attention away from the disaster a little bit. So if this were a normal time, I would say with confidence she wouldn't be on that court. But I still say the odds are not in her favor. Think about this. Any senator who votes to confirm her is soft on kiddie pornographers, child pornographers. I mean, that's a fact based on these sentencing guidelines. It's outrageous. And that may be the last taboo of American society may be just that.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy Ron DeSantis recognized the women swimmers, and that was wonderful.
I learned something about our great governor of Florida. I was watching him talk about himself, and he said his name, and Ron DeSantis' name is not Ron DeSantis. It's Ron DeSantis. He says his name, Ron DeSantis, not DeSantis. He says DeSantis. I've not heard him say that before, so I know. But I'm afraid that if we start calling him DeSantis, no one will know who we're talking about. They'll think we're talking about DeSantos or something. But he says his own name, DeSantis, not DeSantis. I was really shocked by that. DeSantis. I know. All right. Yeah, well, okay. Hey, listen, thanks for the call. We're going to take our break. We'll be back. It's the Steve Kane Show. Don't go anywhere.
You've been told you need a health test. What are you going to have to pay? Health tests can be very expensive. If you go to your doctor's office or one of the big labs, it can cost you hundreds of dollars. Sometimes I haven't had lab tests because of the cost. Then I discovered Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs' goal is to get you all the lab test you need, save you money, and get you in and out in 15 minutes or less. At any lab test now of Coral Springs, you never need an appointment, no doctor's order or prescription needed either. You can walk right in and have any of their thousands of lab tests done for just a fraction of the price the big labs or your doctor's office charge. Give them a call, 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. Any lab test now of Coral Springs. Private and affordable lab testing. 954-906-5983. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Stacy from Deerfield Beach. This is in reference to Champaign Automotive. I went over there. They're wonderful. I have a Kia Optima Echo Hybrid. When I called, it needed service. I didn't want to bring it.
Welcome. Make sure you guys all like the video if you don't mind. And if you're new here, please subscribe.
When I did call, they said bring it in the next day. He's amazing. He did everything. He didn't overcharge me. He went through my car, and I would recommend anybody to go to him. He's absolutely amazing.
Well, you know, Champaign Automotive Repair in Boca, they do great work, and I want to thank you for calling. And I learned something about Champaign Automotive Repair from you in this call. I did not know that they actually did repairs on hybrid vehicles.
What had happened was when I brought it to the dealership,
Right Side has a 1-week suspension over a Trump interview and a Marjorie Taylor Greene interview. They got a 1-week suspension.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. And so I dropped it off. I don't have many people to take me back home. And so he ordered Uber for me.
Wow.
Yes.
That's service. Thank you for the call as well. And anyone else out there, you know, Champaign Automotive Repair, their prices are great. They'll never do a repair on your vehicle that your vehicle doesn't need. Their number is 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101. And what's your name, caller?
My name is Stacy, and thank you very much, Champaign Automotive, and thank you very much, Brian and Steve.
For Champaign Automotive Repair in Boca, 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWN.
Oh man, we are back 39 minutes after the hour. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 45 years on the radio this year, the Steve Kane Show. Welcome back. My name is Brian Craig. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Melissa from Pocono Beach. I talked to you yesterday at the end of the show.
Okay, Melissa, what's up?
No, I just want to let you know, I really appreciate, I was the one that kind of fell apart talking about everything that happened to me, but I want to know what your take was on Lindsey Graham, because I wasn't really a big Lindsey Graham fan, but I think he did a great job yesterday.
You know, Lindsey Graham is hot and cold. He's, he's not a man to be trusted. He's good. He's good when he's good, and he's bad when he's bad. And I don't trust the guy as far as I can throw him, because he's very good. He's very talented. He knows how to tear people down. He knows how to make great points. But he's like the wind. You know, you know what he is. He did a good job yesterday, but let's see what he does tomorrow. I would call him the tofu senator. The tofu, what that means is the tofu senator, Lindsey Graham, and what that means is, do you know what tofu tastes like? Tofu?
Yeah.
No. Tofu tastes like whatever it's cooked with. Like if you tofu's awful. I don't recommend it. But like if I eat tofu by itself, it tastes like, if I put it in though with the steak I'm cooking, it's going to taste like steak. So Lindsey Graham tastes like whatever the vogue thing is to say in that particular moment in time. He really stands for nothing.
Exactly. But I thought he did a good job yesterday.
Yeah.
I'll say about the hearings, I'm glad that it was on TV because I learned so much more. I learned more about her, and for her with the crocodile, I don't even care about that because I was like laughing at it. And Cory Booker, I don't, whatever.
Well, it's here's the thing with her. I mean, I started the show at 6 about this. This is an important point. She's had a good life. Nothing wrong with that. She grew up in Miami. Her parents were upper middle class people, and that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. But she went to Ivy League education there. Harriet Tubman now, the leader of the Underground Railroad. You know, I mean, that's sad. It's sad.
I grew up in New England. The town I grew up in, right next door to Cambridge, where Harvard. I don't even care about Harvard and the whole everything. I knew everything. And then we went up to see where the train was. She would come up. They had the tunnels in New Hampshire, and it was just amazing to me. Listen, I'm getting chills now just thinking about it, because when he said that, I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And like she did good for her. I'm glad that she had a privileged life, or a good life. No problem.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, a lot of people have privileged lives, but you know,
purple, green, or blue. Everyone has problems, and you nailed it on the head when you first opened your shop this morning. Everyone goes through stuff. You know, do you ever think that she worked at a donut shop?
No. And I'll tell you this, and I will tell you this, okay? They're calling Tucker racist for wanting to see her grades. Let me tell you, you know, my grades weren't the best, okay? You know, although I did graduate with honors, I must say. I'm not bragging or anything. I got that first F. And when it was a final exam, and oh my God! I was very lucky that my professor dropped the lowest grade that semester. A lot of, you know, but I was heartbroken. I was almost in tears. It was Roman history, but I did graduate with honors. Just so, but it was still, I didn't, you know. But you know, listen. What I said to the caller earlier, Ketanji, for the very first time in her life, at the age of 51, a black woman in America, is dealing with adversity. She's dealing with adversity for the first time in her life. She's never been held accountable in her life. I don't know what her grades were. I don't know, but she's never. It didn't matter. Her path was written.
Not anything.
Or challenged on a decision she made. She's always been patted on the back for her greatness and Harriet Tubman-like struggle. And when you're 51 years old and for the first time you're being questioned and held accountable, anybody would break down and cry, because she you know.
And the thing is too, and maybe it's just because I am the person, without saying a word, my face gives me away. That's just, and I was watching her facial expressions, and I don't know if you saw the other day, I think it was maybe on the Monday, when she put her hands underneath her jacket, and I'm like, is she giving the person the finger? Because you have to look at it. It's when she was wearing I think it was the first day. It was really interesting to watch her. And when Lindsey grabbed, and then she grabs the water, because like it's just, you're a person, Brian, who looks like very intelligent.
Yes.
Well.
Thank you.
It's just really interesting. Kathy probably picked up on it because we're women, and that's what we do. I don't know, but
you know, a lot of listen, everyone who's nominated for the Supreme Court, they're all privileged. They're politically connected. How do you think they get these appointments? And a lot of them are weird. Yeah. They're all, she's related to Paul Ryan, of course. And he probably is responsible for getting her first federal judge nomination. And, you know, and I'll tell you, they're all connected and weird. I mean, look at Kavanaugh, right? Kavanaugh was one of the attorneys for Ken Starr during the Monica Lewinsky affair. You know, you think it's...
Yeah, I think it was when Asket who asked about Kavanaugh, she didn't know really about that. Are you kidding me?
And Kavanaugh was a little weird. He, you know, he's a little strange. He had that pretty Hispanic assistant with him everywhere, and he had like all women working for him. I saw him walking down the hall with all the women that worked for him. They look like fembots. I mean, he's a weird guy. But all these people are politically connected. You don't get appointed to a federal judgeship just because you're a local attorney who did good. They're all connected. And
asked if she knew about the Kavanaugh.
Yeah, nothing about it. Yeah.
Good.
And you're right. Well, thank you for your call. Thank you. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take our last break of the first hour. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 45 years on the radio. The Steve Kane Show. You know, I got a call from a salesman at another radio station challenging. I've had this happen. This happens on occasion, challenging me, saying this is the longest-running radio show in the state of Florida. And I said, absolutely, the Steve Kane Show is. And they have a show on their station that they bill as the longest-running radio show. I said, when did it start? They said 1988. I said, 1977. The Steve Kane Show. Three's Company debuted on television. Star Wars debuted in movie theaters. And bell-bottom pants were in style, and I was 6 years old. But The Steve Kane Show debuted on the radio then. All right, we'll take our break. My name's Brian Craig. We will be back right after this, people. Don't go anywhere.
Attention seniors, protect yourself and your loved ones from losing your hard-earned assets to the government, attorneys, and greedy in-laws. You are invited to attend Attorney Barry Siegel's...
Well, Scooter Brian Craig, I appreciate you picking a complimentary picture of me to use as your picture.
All living trust plans are not created equally. Find out why at Attorney Barry Siegel's free Living Trust Seminar. To make your reservation for this free Living Trust Seminar, call the Siegel. Reserve your seat. 1-855-352-3782. 1-855-352-3782.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta.
Oh, man. I got one more clip of Cory Booker. Wait till you hear this one. This is
In construction industry since 1982.
very revealing.
Florida certified roofing and general contractors focusing on residential and commercial roofing, impact windows, and building restoration.
I'll have a new podcast episode today, guys, so keep an eye out for that, too.
Noticed any water stains on your ceiling, or if your roof is older than 15 years, you will want to call us to come out and evaluate your roof. Our services run from minor repairs to complete new roof systems. We install every kind of roof.
VW, $10 super chat. Thank you. Always happy to call in for a great chat. Thanks for all you do. Well, thank you, VW. And everyone thank VW for that super chat. You're new to the show. Well, welcome, 1970. That's the year Ketanji was born. The year my wife was born, too. I'm married to an older woman.
4602.
Hi folks, Dr. Matez here, now with the BioStation West Delray. At BioStation West Delray, we continue to offer the highest level of experience and care you can find in the realm of hormone pellets.
I like my scooter. I might take it for a ride today. I was going to ride it to work this morning, but I had to make a stop on the way in, and I didn't want to ride it in the dark where I was going.
And don't forget, we offer the complete array of all cosmetic modalities, including Botox, fillers, lasers, etc. Better energy, better sleep, better performance, and looks to die for. If this all sounds good to you, call us at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
All righty. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's Andrea.
Hey, Andrea. What's up?
Well, I want to say something to your first caller, because that was just an obscene display of self-victimization. If you don't like how your life is going, then you know what? Make better choices. Because the bottom line is you're responsible for your own self. But what I will say to her is this. If she's such a victim, then maybe she should stop voting Democrat, stop voting for your own demise, because Democrats have made it hard for black women and for black people in this country, and that's enough stop.
Mm-hmm.
Stop drinking the poison.
Yeah. And, you know, this thing here with her breaking down in tears with this Harriet Tubman thing, I almost feel sorry for Ketanji because she believes that she's a victim. She grew up upper middle class in Miami. Her father, a big shot attorney, which is cool. That's awesome. But and here she is, a federal judge for 9 years, nominated for the Supreme Court by the President of the United States, and she's still a victim who's overcoming oppression. That's crazy.
Well, you're kinder than I am, because I don't feel bad for her for 1 second.
I said almost, Andrea. Almost. It's sad.
And, well, it's no surprise to me that somebody, meaning Joe Biden, who
it's on
has
my
been
YouTube channel. Look on my playlist.
With children,
my fun and travel
nominated her
vlogs.
based on her record.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't feel bad that the truth about her and her decision-making from the bench is coming out. She's a disgrace to the judicial system.
Mm-hmm.
Never be allowed.
Well, Well, she's consistent with the entire Biden administration, who is not a disgrace connected with Biden.
That's true. But what I think people need to keep their eye on, and something that I find very interesting, is Clarence Thomas. So they last week said he was hospitalized, he was for an infection, he was supposed to be released. He's not released yet, and they're not giving any type of updated status on his
Well, most he most times when the hospitals have an insurance scam going on. When someone's admitted to the hospital, typically it's 5 days. They want you in for 5 days because the insurance will pay for 5 days. So I wouldn't read too much into that until we get past day 5.
I just find that whole situation very concerning.
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree. I was thinking he should have retired when Trump was in office. I love Clarence Thomas, but he should have retired when Trump was in office in his first term. That would have, yeah. They hate Clarence Thomas. They hate him. You know, he married Rush to his first wife. He presided over the ceremony.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Right here in Palm Beach.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And him and his wife are into RVing. And they drive across the country, and I don't know if they got a Winnebago or something. I don't know which one they have, but they have an RV, and they drive around the country in their RV together.
Well, see, that's the result of making smart life choices.
Yeah, but I'm sure he was connected, too. They're all politically connected. I mean, you don't get nominated to a federal judge position unless you're hooked up. That's okay. But don't go through life thinking you're a victim. You know, we all have different You know, I make fun of Steve sometimes. Steve Kane went to the same high school as President Kennedy. Not at the same time, but so he grew up at privilege. Steve went to his high school reunion. Oh my goodness! Are you familiar with the Zagat restaurant guide? You ever heard of it? Yeah. Steve went to high school with Zagat. Okay, and Steve's. You know, some of you know this. Steve doesn't talk about it too much. This is not Steve's mother, but you know, Steve's family, Steve grew up rich. His father was married to Helen Kane, who is Betty Boop. So you know, so Steve's a connected guy of privilege, you know. But at his age, he's still working, you know. And you have, you know, and Ketanji, she doesn't know what struggle is. She's never worked for a damn thing. She's never worked for a damn thing. She had patronage jobs that were handed to her because of the Harvard thing. She's never had to work or earn anything. That little stint she did at the private law firm was just to get rich before she got her federal judgeship. When she was in law school, it was decided she was going to be a federal judge.
Well, my whole thing about her is this: if you're soft
Child of the King. Awesome. Wow. Welcome. Make sure you subscribe.
So you're soft on child pornographers, and you're representing terrorists who...
Well, I suspect that those pornographers are African American, and that might have something to do with why she went so light on them. I mentioned this yesterday. I don't want to redo yesterday's show today because there's new stuff, but I would like to get a racial breakdown on those sentences.
Good point.
I'm serious about that. Yeah.
And soft on a father who filmed his daughter.
I don't. It's too early. I don't need these thoughts. Okay. Hey, Andrea. Thanks for the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jeff from Maine. How you doing?
Hey, Jeff. Doing all right.
Hey, I think Andrea had something there about the victim. You know, once you're a victim, the Democrats want you to stay there, and they want you to believe that they have the answer. And it's absolutely asinine. You need to learn and grow from being a victim and move on and become a better person. And I think that our government has portrayed that, you know, we're your answer. And that is what's wrong in America. The answer is we the people, our Constitution and our God-given rights. And the Democrats hate everything I just said right there.
Yeah. I know. You know, when you look at someone like Ketanji, though, who thinks she's a victim, what does a regular liberal person think that's like working at Walmart or something? You know what I mean? How are you going to get through to that person when you have someone who's related to Paul Ryan? She's in Paul Ryan's family, related by marriage, and you know she's wealthy. Come on, you think she's poor? Her husband probably makes the money. Or she got something out of that private law firm or something. She's going to be on the Supreme Court, and that's it. You know what? A life of privilege, and she still thinks her husband's a surgeon. And listen to this. This is amazing. And this is in her biography, Brahmins. Okay, Boston Brahmins. A lot of people aren't familiar with that. You know, John Kerry has like a British accent. Okay, that's a Boston Brahmin accent, okay? It's a snob thing. If you remember MASH, remember Major Winchester? Had a very exclusive, snooty group. Through her marriage, she's related to Paul Ryan. Patrick Jackson, listen to this. This is the woman who thinks she's overcoming racial injustice. Her husband, all right, Patrick Jackson, is descended from Jonathan Jackson, who was a delegate to the Continental Congress and is related to Supreme Court Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes. So she is married to a Boston Brahmin. She is married to a man who's a descendant of a delegate to the Continental Congress. That's the original one in Philadelphia, July 4th, 1776, friends, okay? And related to Oliver Wendell Holmes. That's okay, but don't go around acting like you went to law school at night working at Walmart all day, okay, on the checkout, and you've overcome some adversity. Oliver Wendell Holmes is a member of your family. Paul Ryan is she is related to a Speaker of the House of the United States House of Representatives and related to a Supreme Court Justice of the United States and a delegate to the Continental Congress that declared this great country's independence. But she somehow is still a victim. I just learned that about her, what I just shared with you on her Wikipedia, by the way. That's insane. But you and I are privileged, Jeff. You and I are privileged.
Yes, we are. We are privileged. If you're born and raised in America, you have every opportunity out there to go out there and work and do what you become what you want to become through hard work. President Trump was raised in a well-to-do family, but he was taught ethics, work ethic. Go out there and bust your butt.
Yeah, President Trump talked about, because a lot of people in 2015 are like, he's so down to earth, I can't believe, and because before, I was a fan of The Apprentice, and I supported President Trump back in 2011. He was talking about maybe running for president, in that Romney era. And, but I kind of always, before that, pictured him as some Studio 54 gigolo type. I think a lot of people did. I mean, what do we know? He's a rich New Yorker, you know what I mean? But he's so down to earth. And I saw him on an interview once. He was talking about this, and he would talk about how his dad would go around the job sites and picking up the nails to reuse the nails and stuff like this, and how he got to know the workers. And there's a great thing to watch online with President Trump. It's with Oprah Winfrey. He did President Trump did a thing for Oprah at Trump Tower where he did different jobs for the day of people. He was a bellboy. He did some room service and a few other jobs. It was kind of cool. And what really impressed me is President Trump went into the kitchen or went down to the bellhops or whatever. He knew all of them by their first name. But
he has Brian.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a relative who was Speaker of the... See, this is why they hate Trump. He doesn't have a relative who was a Supreme Court Justice, a Speaker of the House, or a member of the First Congress, the Continental Congress. That's how connected she is. Can you imagine? That's something else. But she's a victim. Cory Booker didn't bring that up.
Of course not. It's like they're playing a stage, a bunch of actors and actresses in the Democrat Party, and they're all playing a part, and they all say the same thing.
You know, if I had a relative who was a member of the Continental Congress, I could make a whole career out of that. You know, coincidentally, I'm wearing a shirt right now with George Washington and Thomas Jefferson fist bumping on it. You know, if I think about this, as if I was the descendant of a member of the Continental Congress, that'd probably be part of the intro for the show. And I, you know what I mean? I'd be like famous. I'd be, you know, and that's the kind of, and that's only one of her connections.
What I liked about The Apprentice was he didn't care if you're rich or poor or about your ideas. He wanted to know if you were honest and if you presented yourself well. It's not just about appearance, but how you treat people. And
that was a big thing with President Trump. That was a big thing. Yeah, that was a big thing. I remember once on The Apprentice, then we got to break because I'm late, but there was one time on The Apprentice where each team had to redecorate. They had to decorate to show to sell a condo in a Trump building. And I can't remember if it was Don Jr. or Eric who came in to see the progress. And he told them, he says, if I did this as poor of a job as you did, my dad would fire me. And I'm his son. Yeah, right. He says, I'm not kidding. All right, listen, I got to run, Jeff. I'm already late. Thanks for the call. We'll be back. Hour number 2 begins now.
AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Attention seniors and those who care about them. How would you like to have instant access to a Medicare advocate at the touch of a button? You can for less than $1 a day with I Will
Steve Kane Show.
I Will Advocates will assist you with doctor appointment
Hold on.
scheduling, pharmacy issues, billing problems, plan benefits, Medicare applications. They'll even help when you're in the hospital. I Will Advocate clients are family, and they go to bat for their family when you need them the most. Let them be your golden guardians. Contact I Will Advocates right now online at iwilladvocates.com or call them directly, 954-345-1214. No matter where you're located throughout the state of Florida or nationwide, 954-345-1214. 954-345-1214.
This is Steve Kane. We are here this morning with William Youngerman from William Youngerman, Inc. for our Gold Report. William, how are you? Welcome to the show. Wanted to ask you the big question, the big one that everyone wants to know. With gold, when's a good time to buy, and when do you sell?
Okay, the answer to the question, when do you sell, goes back to why did you buy it in the first place? When the reason you bought it is fulfilled, it's time to sell. Or when the reason that you bought it no longer exists, it's time to sell. In 1980, gold hit a high of $850, and people had bought gold all the way up to that level. And at that time, the reason to own gold changed dramatically because we had 25% interest rates all of a sudden. The government said we will stop inflation no matter what, and they did so with very high interest rates. That reason for owning gold then changed, and we dramatically told our customers in 1980, sell your gold, sell. It's finished for the time being, okay? That was the reason. Now, some people held on because they said, no, I want this as my insurance policy. Insurance policy, you don't necessarily buy and sell your life insurance policies. You have it for a particular reason. And some of your money should always be in gold, regardless of what the price is doing. Historically, we've always said at least 5%. At this particular time, we recommend much higher percentage of our assets being gold, silver, and platinum. So the reason for buying it will determine when to sell it. If that reason changes or is fulfilled, that's the time to sell it. But it must go along with the fact that you understand that gold is the only real money in the world. It is the only thing that has no IOUs or attached to it. It is an insurance policy, and it is a hedge against inflation, and it's the only real money that will maintain its buying power for you in the long term.
Okay, well that answers that question. If the question becomes where, well, I can tell you where. William Youngerman, Inc., located at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca. You can drop by. It's in the Bank of America building, right on the first floor, opposite the Bank of America. You can call William at 1-800-327-5010 or go to the website at williamyoungerman.com.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Steve Kane Show.
You are
Hey, hold on.
listening to South Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial 1-888-COCAINE 1. That's 1-888-COCAINE. And now, here.
All righty, we are way late, behind schedule, 8 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Celebrating 45 years on the radio this year, The Steve Kane Show. Now, we broke some news at the end of the last hour, but before I recap that and start to bring up new things, I'm going to take a call or two, because some people have been holding for a while, and there's going to be a short segment because I went long at the top of the hour, guys. So I'll get back on schedule in this segment. This segment will be short, but then we'll have our regular time segments after that. Good morning, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Stacy. I called the other day.
Okay, Stacy, what's up?
Nothing. I just wanted to make a point. How is it that this woman is getting questioned and now suddenly she's the victim after everybody that she has defended and everybody that she has let go that have done nefarious things, all of a sudden now Cory Booker, has seen her as a victim?
Yeah. Because liberals believe, it's a simple question. It's a simple question. Liberals believe that all black people are victims of a racist society, America.
I grew up in the South Bronx in the 70s, and I'm Italian. And, I mean, that's like saying all Italians are in the mafia.
No, that's what they think. They think that all black people, unless you're like Clarence Thomas, unless you're a Republican, then you're a traitor. But, and Biden said you're not even black. But if you are black in America, you are a victim. That, by the way, goes for LeBron James, too.
Yes, I totally agree. I'm married to a black man, and people find it absolutely mind-boggling that I could be a Republican and married to a black man.
Is your husband Republican?
Yes, he is.
Yeah. There's a lot of black men who are conservative, like Clarence Thomas, and they're almost always married to white women, right? Clarence Thomas is married to a white woman. Your husband's a Republican black married to a white woman. I've met a lot of Republican men over the years at different events, and I cannot remember when one was married to a black woman. I've met black female Republicans, and they're usually married to white guys.
You're right.
I guess it's hard to find a match when you're a Republican.
My husband is white.
Yeah, because it's hard for them to find. It probably would be difficult for your husband to find a when you're married, you've got to be. To have a successful marriage, one cannot be a conservative MAGA Republican and the other be a bleeding heart woke liberal Democrat. It won't work because your morals are different, right? You have a different moral code. So a liberal has to marry a liberal, a conservative has to marry a conservative to have a long-lasting, happy marriage. So that's why we got that. There's a lot of interracial marriages with black Republican people.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Well, thanks for taking.
Mm-hmm. All right. Take care. Now, I want to recap what the first hour and the news that I broke right before the top of the hour, and then we'll break, and then we will bring up some other topics too. But you're certainly welcome to call in on the judge as the program goes on. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. Now, I started the show at 6 by playing Cory Booker. I've got 2 clips of Cory Booker. I've only played one, but let me replay the one I played earlier. This is Cory Booker talking to Ketanji, and this is what brought her to tears yesterday.
Harriet Tubman is one of my heroes because the more I read about this person, the more, she was viciously beaten. Her whole life she used to fall into spells, cracked skull. She faced starvation, chased by dogs. And when she got to freedom, what did she do? Did she rest? No, she went back. Again and again and again. The sky was full of stars. But she found one that was a harbinger of hope for better days, not just for her and those people that were enslaved, but a harbinger of hope for this country. And she never gave up on America. She fought led troops in the Civil War. She was involved in the suffrage movement. And as I came back from my run, after being near assaulted by someone on the street, I thought about her and how she looked up. She kept looking up. No matter what they did to her, she never stopped looking up. And that star, it was a harbinger of hope. Today, you're my star. You are my harbinger of hope. This country is getting better and better and better. That final vote happens, and you ascend onto the highest court in the land. I'm going to rejoice.
Okay, that's Cory Booker. And Cory Booker tearing up there. And Ketanji herself had a tear come down her right eye at that moment that just accidentally was caught by an Associated Press photographer. And that photograph is circulating throughout the media today. Brought to tears, thinking of herself as Harriet Tubman. And I knew a little bit about her, and I knew she grew up a life of privilege, and she had that Harvard Law degree. So, a Harvard Law degree is better than Willy Wonka's golden ticket. You're set up for life. You get that Willy Wonka golden ticket, you may not get the factory, right? Only one kid can get the factory, Charlie Bucket. The rest, The Harvard degree, whoever has it, especially the law degree, has the golden ticket to life forever. So that in itself is privileged and set up. And we all know, because we've talked about this, she is related by marriage to Paul Ryan, Speaker of the House. And then when I was talking at the end of the hour to Jeff from Maine in the first hour of the program, I was looking through her biography on Wikipedia and found out how connected she's connected more than I realized. I'm going to read this again. In 1996, Ketanji married her husband, surgeon Patrick Graves Jackson, whose family is considered Boston Brahmins. Now, Boston Brahmins, as I said, John Kerry's a Boston Brahmin. That British accent he has is not a British accent, John Kerry. It's a Boston Brahmin accent. That is a very elite clique. There are not many of them, and they are the most elite in our society. But it gets bigger than that. Listen to this. So Ketanji married her husband, Patrick Graves Jackson, who's a Boston Brahmin. Due to this marriage, she is related to Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan. Her husband, which means her and her children are also related to, her husband, which means her children, are descended from Jonathan Jackson, who was a delegate to the Continental Congress. Now remember that, guys, now, you liberals out there, the Continental Congress, that's the one where they drafted, wrote, and signed the Declaration of Independence. Isn't that something? Wow. She's hooked up, but she's even more connected. Her husband is also related to Supreme Court Justice of the United States Oliver Wendell Holmes, who's like the most famous of all the justices, who, if memory serves, Oliver Wendell Holmes was a Republican appointed by Teddy Roosevelt. I could be wrong about that, but I think Teddy Roosevelt appointed him. This woman has more connections than anyone I've ever heard of nominated for this position. But she's still a victim who's overcoming white oppression. She's Harriet Tubman. If she believes that, she's in need of a serious mental evaluation. Now, I told you guys this was going to be a short segment, and it's true. I'm going to break now because I went long at the top. Callers on hold, stand by. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Our number is toll free from anywhere. 1-888-GO-KANE 1-888-465-2631.
Brian Craig here. You've heard us talk about the great low prices Friendly Tire has on new tires and used tires. They also
Steve Kane Show.
repairs. Listen to one of our listeners talk about their experience at
Steve,
Friendly
hold
Tire
on.
in Margate.
Steve Kane Show.
My name is Mike. Just wanted to call and
Hold
say
on.
thank you. I had a problem with my car. I had a flat tire was going down really quick. I'm in Coral Springs. I had to go somewhere close by. They couldn't really fix it. So I remember you guys are talking about Friendly Mike at Friendly Tires. So I said, listen, Mike, I need a couple of tires. I told him I thought. He goes, I got them. I go, I'll see you tomorrow. They were really cheap. I go over there, and Mike said, which tires do you want to replace? They look relatively new. I said, they are. I just got a big hole in that one. And they said they couldn't be fixed. He goes, pull your vehicle in. I pulled the vehicle in. He took the tire off. He pulled out the plug that the guy in Coral Springs put in there, and he heat shielded it. He kind of patched it or whatever they call it. I don't know what they call it. And he goes, you don't need any tires. He goes, I fixed that one. Give me $20. But the guy in Coral Springs wanted $500 for 2 tires. I just wanted to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you guys. Have a wonderful day.
Give Mike at Friendly Tire a call right now. We'll give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Don't waste time going anywhere else. You will never find prices as low as Friendly Tire in Margate. Do you suffer from neuropathy? Maybe you do and you don't even know it. Do you have numbness, pain, burning, or tingling in your hands and feet? Muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching? Are you not sleeping?
If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Everyone, please like the video.
Feeling it all. The symptoms can make life unbearable, but there is help at the Lighthouse Medical Center. Call 754-222-6642 for a no-charge consultation and say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. 754-222-6642. Online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning.
Is that me?
Sounds like you.
All right. Well, this is Nick, 46 from North Florida.
Hey, Nick in North Florida. What's up? Wesley, $10 super chat. Thank
I
you.
just wonder
Wesley.
if Cory Booker and Jesse Smollett are related. They're both bad actors.
Say that again? I couldn't hear you.
I wonder if Cory Booker and Jesse Smollett are terrible actors.
Oh, they're both terrible. I will. Hey, listen. I've watched Jesse Smollett's TV show. He's a very good actor, actually. He can sing too. But I get what you mean. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Too. This woman being nominated for the Supreme Court, she may have worked for something, but when you look at what you're saying, her pedigree, she's had a very privileged life. There's no question about it.
And her children, they're set for life. They're set for life. I mean, her children are descendant of a Supreme Court justice and a member of the Continental Congress. That's a big deal. You know, there's a lot of these Mayflower descendants running around. I haven't heard too many Continental Congress descendants running around. You know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, she was set for life too. I mean, she was raised up with privilege. And, you know...
And that's okay, but don't go on TV acting like you're Rosa Parks and Harriet Tubman here, like she was doing with Cory Booker yesterday. Absolutely.
And when you mention Harriet Tubman, you know, they were fighting Democrats. And some of these people like Harriet Tubman.
Harriet Tubman was a Republican. Harriet Tubman was a Republican, and I'll tell you this: she was part of the suffragette movement. The suffragettes, they were almost all Republicans. Harriet Tubman was a Republican, Cory Booker. And by the way, she's not a hero of yours; she's a heroine. You got to use the feminine there, idiot.
Some of them people like her that roll over in their grave were the ones that they're all Democrats now.
Yeah, Rosa Parks was a Republican when she got kicked off the bus.
Exactly right. And now all the black leaders are Democrats. All the only ones they want to acknowledge.
Well, I don't know. We've got some black Republicans. Yeah. Hey, all right, appreciate the call. Thanks so much. Oh, let me play my other Cory Booker clip, then I'll go back to the phones. This is, I'm going to ask you this. What kind of man uses this reference in describing something? This is Cory Booker yesterday. What kind of man uses this type of reference?
You got to hear how every black woman in America who's gotten anywhere.
Oh my God! He's acting like she works at Walmart all day on the register, and at night she's going to law school. When she's married to one of the most connected types of people you could be married to. But anyway, that's not why I played this.
You got to hear how every black woman in America
Cheryl,
who's gotten
$10 for the chat. I
anywhere
want to thank Cheryl. Thank you, Cheryl.
By being, like Ginger Rogers said.
Yes, Ginger Rogers. Have you ever heard a man, I'm going to play this for you, but he's about to quote Ginger Rogers. What kind of man quotes Ginger Rogers? Not Fred Astaire. Cory Booker is quoting Ginger Rogers.
You got to hear how every black woman in America who's gotten anywhere has done by being, like Ginger Rogers said, I did everything Fred Astaire did, but backwards in heels.
Oh my goodness.
And so I'm just sitting here saying, nobody's stealing my joy. Nobody's going to make me angry. And I want to tell you, when I look at you, this is why I get emotional. I'm sorry, you're a person that is so much more than your race and gender. You're a Christian, you're a mom, you're an intellect, you love books. But for me, I'm sorry, it's hard for me not to look at you and not see my mom.
Oh my goodness.
Not to see my cousins, one of them who had to come here and sit behind you. She had to have your back. I see my ancestors and yours. Nobody's going to steal the joy of that woman in the street, or the calls that I'm getting, or the texts. Nobody's going to steal that joy. You have earned this spot. You are worthy. You are a great American.
Okay. Cory Booker, tearing up there, quoting Ginger Rogers. What kind of man quotes Ginger Rogers? Richie, what kind of guy quotes Ginger Rogers?
Yeah, I'm so nervous to you, but first of all, listen, bottom line, I watched it for the whole time. She lied throughout the whole thing. When she couldn't answer the question, what is a woman, that told me everything I wanted to know. She's an extreme activist, and she's sort of the black statue that they put up there to start with. The whole process was a farce. From the first time he said he was going to put a black woman in there, he didn't. That was the beginning of the farce. Just like with Hillary, I'm going to break the glass ceiling with the presidency. First woman. It's totally ridiculous. Everyone together, Brian. It's strictly a group. This was a theatrical.
Yeah, but then we find out. You know what I found out this morning? We knew she was related to Paul Ryan, but her husband, who is obviously Caucasian, is descendant of a member of the Continental Congress. They gave us our Declaration of Independence. You know, let me tell you this: if this were Amy Coney Barrett, okay, if this were Amy Coney Barrett instead of her, and it came out that her husband is a descendant of a member of the Continental Congress, what the whole dialogue in the media would be, oh, that document didn't free the slaves. that document, it was independence for white people, not for, you know what I mean? It's not even mentioned in the context of her.
She's a black activist. She always was. She doesn't feel privileged. See, I think here's where you're wrong. She was put there to bamboozle the black community because they don't want to lose the vote with them. Biden wants to show that he's not a racist. I mean, this whole thing was a total setup. They put the queen of the black. In other words, Cory Booker was, I see my mother in her. Well, I wonder if Cory Booker would go to South Beach and see twerking in the middle of the street and say, I see my mother.
I don't think so.
The bottom line is that we're all the same.
No, she's
we're
not
the human
qualified.
race. The Democratic Party has everything broken, just like the transgender, which she couldn't say.
Listen, there's all this talk. Is she qualified? If she doesn't know what a woman is, she's not qualified.
Not qualified. She lied through the whole thing. She's the judge that opened up the southern border of the United States when President Trump tried to send actually the gangsters back to some of those gangs that he wanted to deport back to Mexico and South America. She closed the border and said he's insane. So in other words, she was an activist judge too, and they brought that up yesterday, and she was overturned by two liberals.
Yeah.
The garbage. I don't care if she.
Well, she won't be overturned on the Supreme Court because that's the final say. Maybe you should start a TikTok. Richie, maybe you should start a TikTok and just do twerking videos of yourself. You would be the most famous TikToker on earth. If Richie the bus driver TikTok doing twerking.
Biden took that pen of his, and in other words, when she was overturned by the courts, Biden came in the first day with the executive orders, opened up our border again. They are all pieces of crap.
Yes.
They need to have everyone in groups. They need to have everybody against everybody. She might as well have been a black.
Yeah, well, we learned something about Cory Booker. He loves musical dance movies from the 40s and 50s.
Spartacus. This guy is
Spartacus. Yeah, right. He's Tony Curtis with the oranges in Spartacus. Remember that scene?
I believe he's gay, and a lot of there's been rumors that that's his own. But he's a piece of garbage too, because they're trying to. This is so disgusting in this day and age.
Spartacus.
I mean, God help us all. We're all the same. If you're black and you go along with that, you could get you've been mistreated throughout your whole life. You have problems because there are a lot of Spanish, white. It doesn't matter. People have this is what's called a melting pot of the world in the United States. We have had every listen. You were adopted, but everything that came over to this country, for God's sake, was persecuted in the beginning. Get over the fact that this has been over already. Conservative blacks are not treated the same way, are they?
Oh no.
If this would have been,
could you imagine if Judge Kavanaugh, if it came out that he gave light sentences to kiddie pornographers on his federal judgeship, they would be accusing him of being a kiddie pornographer. They say, why else would he be doing this? It would be over for any Republican.
Not a story of breaking or stealing for the
Rosario
first
Dawson and
symbol.
now, by the way, Cory Booker and Rosario Dawson broke up. Shocker. Yeah. All right. Take care, Richie. Thanks for the call. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. Once. Yes, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Stacy from Pompano.
Stacy from Pompano. What's up, Stacy?
I was just saying, I listened to everything. I haven't really gone in depth, for what you guys are saying, but just for the surface of it, for me, what if it's not about her? Like, just her, the person that she is. She may not be qualified. All these things are coming out, so she doesn't look like she is the best candidate. But what about the fact of just the symbolic meaning of it? It's what Booker was talking about.
I don't know what you mean. What's the symbolic meaning?
Being the first black person on the Supreme Court.
Oh, well, that's not true. There have been other black... She would not be the first black person on the Supreme Court.
First black woman.
Oh, okay. There have been other black people on the Supreme Court. There's one on there now, Clarence Thomas.
And women.
So what? There's women on the court. What is the positive symbolism of having someone who's like Candace? Why not put Candace Owens on the Supreme Court then? Black woman. Why not?
No, I agree. It should be someone that's qualified.
Well, she's not qualified. She doesn't know what a woman is. If you don't know what a woman is, how can you be qualified for an intellectual job?
Well, for that one point, I don't know about the other points. I can't speak on it, but that one point, maybe because she knows that's probably going to come to the Supreme Court.
That's not what she said. No, that's not what she said. Do you know what a woman is? What's a woman?
I mean, my definition, there's a God-given definition of what
A woman is a person with a vagina, right? Okay, that's not what she said. She could not define a woman. So if you cannot define a woman, you're not qualified to have a professional intellectual position of any kind.
Well,
you don't have to be a judge to be on the court.
At that point, they should have held her to the fire and say, "Why don't you want to do it?" So she's gonna say, "Okay, if that was her."
No, she didn't say that though. She didn't say that. She said she's not. She said she's not a biologist. She said she didn't say that. I can't comment on that. She said I'm not a biologist. I don't know.
Okay, well.
I know, shocking.
Yes.
So you're a black woman.
I am a black.
Okay, so it'll make you feel good to have a black woman on the Supreme Court?
I mean, I feel like it's not her. Not her.
I mean, do you think I feel good? Do you think it makes me feel good that there's like white guys on the Supreme Court? Do you think I'm heartbroken that she's replacing a white guy?
No, I don't think you shouldn't be.
Why exactly? That'd be ridiculous, wouldn't it? See, I live the dream of Martin Luther King. I don't judge people by the color of their skin. I judge people by the content of their character. That was the dream of Martin Luther King. And I'm judging her by the content of her character, which is very low. She let child pornographers off the hook. One just 3 months in jail. Child pornographer. That's a person of low moral character, the judge. I'm judging her not by the color of her skin, but the content of her character. Yes. Yes, it was not on the news you're watching. I know you're probably watching Joy Reid or something, but no, no, this is all over the news. Yes, this has been all over the news for several days. Well, you missed yesterday's show then, because I talked about it for 3 hours yesterday.
Yeah, I did miss yesterday. I couldn't listen yesterday.
Who's yelling in the background?
Tonight, broadcast. But my point is just,
Who's talking to you in the background? Who's that in the background?
No, they're talking to somebody else.
Oh, you're driving. Okay.
I'm not driving. I mean, I'm at my gate where I'm driving in.
Okay. Yeah, thank you too. Yeah, no, this came out. I spent 3 hours talking about this yesterday. There was a guy who was in possession of child pornography, a large amount of it with children engaged in sexual acts that were 8 and 11 years old. She gave him 3 months in jail.
So what's her defense of that? Why did she do that?
Well, she has a history. They went through many cases with child pornographers. She gave them the lightest sentences she possibly could. We don't really know. She's got some type of sympathy for these child pornographers. I know, it's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah, she's not qualified. Now listen, if she didn't make it on the court, Biden could pick another black woman that's liberal on everything, but doesn't have the damage of this.
But I think what I'm trying to say is too that the symbolic reason for everyone is getting on that bandwagon and not realizing.
Well, symbolic reason. If I were hiring someone, and I got a new position here on the show. I'm gonna hire someone, and but it's got to be a white man. What would that be? We got a job position here on the Steve Kane Show. But that position is for a white man. What would that be?
Brian, it's already been a...
No, excuse me. What would that, if I said that, if we're not hiring anybody, but if we were hiring someone and we said, we've got a position here on the radio show, but we are going to hire only white men. Only white men apply. This job will be given to a white man. What would that be? You know what it is. Say it. You don't want to say it.
No, but it's not equal.
It would be racist, right? Would that be racist?
It wouldn't be racist because you've already had a white man.
No. If I said blacks, Hispanics, women, Eskimos, Seminole Indians do not apply. This job will only be filled by a white man. That would be racist, correct? If I did that. It would be discriminatory, right? I'd be discriminating.
Right.
Okay, well, that's what Joe Biden did. Joe Biden said there's a job opening, but it's only going to be filled with a black woman. Why is that not racist?
Been in that position before, so it's different. It's different. There's never been a black woman in that position before. I mean,
it's not. This is not. The Supreme Court of the United States is not a job where you pick people based on skin color. To pick the law is, everyone is equal. Excuse me, everyone is equal under the law. Okay, so if you pick someone for a job because they're black, white, Eskimo, and only because of that, that's discrimination.
That's just now, though. You know, before we weren't equal under the law before. Now,
what do you mean? When you're a black woman, I'm a white man. When were you and I not equal in this society?
Before they passed the law, when there was segregation and we were considered less than a
Tell me the year when we became equal under the law. Well, you say that we weren't always equal. Well, you said, I'm not a historian either, I'm just a guy in America. You said there was a time where you and me, after the Civil War. How old are you?
I'm just not as good at history.
No, I'll tell you, I'm 50 years old. I was born in 1971. That was 106 years after the Civil War. What year were you born? 1980. 1980 was a very good year. Empire Strikes Back was released in movie theaters. Okay, so let's start at 1980, when you were born. It's now 2022. At what point between 1980 and 2022, the time when both of us have been alive, that we were not equal racially? That I was above you because of skin color? In the time we've been alive. Neither of us were alive during the Civil War. Let's start from 1980.
Right. Okay. So we weren't alive.
When since the time that both of us have been alive, you were born in 1980. Since 1980, it's now 2022. At what point in this period of time have you and I not been equal in America?
Based on the law?
Based on everything. Give me the time. Give me the example in that time period since in your lifetime when you and I were not equal.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about that, though.
Yeah, you are. I'm going to give you the answer, which you know. You just don't want to say it. We've always been equal in both of our lifetimes. Well, I can only deal with our lifetimes. I mean, Jews were slaves in Egypt. How far back you want to go? You know, the Brits were, in your lifetime and my lifetime, we have always been equal under the eyes of the law and in our society. You're talking about things that happened before our grandparents and great-grandparents were alive.
So when they established the court system. How about that?
What do you want to go back to the Middle Ages? I'm talking about today.
When they established the Supreme Court.
But we weren't alive then.
Okay, we weren't alive.
You're talking about the 1700s.
filling those seats, though, Brian? Who's been filling those seats?
Well, people, one of them was Oliver Wendell Holmes, who was appointed by Teddy Roosevelt and is related to Ketanji, right? Her husband is the descendant of a Supreme Court justice. You and I have always been equal. In society and in the law. So stop living in the 17 and 1800s. Well, yeah.
Means that this is the first time that they're going to...
This is the fact that remains. The fact that remains is that until this conversation, the fact remains is this, that before this conversation today, you've gone through life since 1980 thinking that society put you at a lower position than white people. In fact, I will say maybe we're not equal. I think you're superior, because here's Ketanji. She went to the top of the pile of applications. No white men need apply. So it sounds like she's got privilege over white people that are qualified to be on the court, because Joe Biden said white people need not apply. By the way, Hispanics and Asians need not apply either. All right, take care. Thanks for the call. Oh boy. She thought that she's been discriminated against in her life. This is the first time, that caller right there, this is the first time in her life that she's realized that she's not a victim. Made her a little uncomfortable, didn't it?
Attention seniors and those who care about them. How would you like to have instant access to a Medicare advocate at the touch of a button? You can for less than $1 a day with I Will Advocates. I Will Advocates will assist you with doctor appointment scheduling, pharmacy issues, billing problems, plan benefits, Medicare applications. They'll even help when you're in the hospital. I Will Advocate clients are family, and they go to bat for their family when you need them the most. Let them be your golden guardians. Contact I Will Advocates right now online at iwilladvocates.com or call them directly. 954-345-1214. No matter where you're located throughout the state of Florida or nationwide. 954-345-1214. 954-345-1214.
Steve Kane Show.
Do you suffer from neuropathy? Maybe you do and you don't even know it. Do you have numbness, pain, burning, or tingling in your hands and feet? Muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching. Are you not sleeping? Does it feel like pins and needles in your hands and feet? Maybe you have no feeling at all. The symptoms can make life unbearable, but there is help at the Lighthouse Medical Center. Call 754-222-6642 for a no-charge consultation and say goodbye to your
Steve Kane Show.
symptoms. 754-222-6642. Online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. Hi, Brian Craig here.
Oh my goodness. I had to go to the bathroom. All this water I'm drinking, but I don't have time now. I gotta wait till the next break.
Well, as you know, Brian, I was waking up in pain almost every morning for years and years, and we had bought a new mattress not that long ago, but it still was not doing the trick, so I said to you, let's get the MyPillow mattress topper, and let's see if it helps or makes any kind of a difference. And I have to tell you, after sleeping on it just one night, I woke up, no pain, I felt incredible, it made a huge difference for me. And the pain has not returned.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. Now go to MyPillow.com and order your MyPillow mattress topper and do what Kathy and I did. Use the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. And this is an incredible deal because with the promo code KANE, you will save 30% off the MyPillow mattress topper and get 2 free MyPillows. But you've got to use the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. It comes in every size too, from twin all the way up to California King. That's promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show.
Oh man. Alrighty, we're back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Indeed it is. On the radio since 1977. The Steve Kane Show celebrating 45 years on the radio this year. That's right. Now, a big announcement from the Thomas Edison of sleep, Mike Lindell, the inventor of the MyPillow. I called up Mike Lindell's office, spoke to his assistant yesterday, and they have a great new offer for Steve Kane listeners when you use our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. By the way, that 3-inch mattress topper, I sleep on that every night. It will change your life. 30% off, and you get 2 free MyPillows with our promo code KANE at checkout. With any purchase you make at MyPillow.com, no matter what the product is, you get no matter what the special is, you still get that great special, but Mike Lindell has thrown in something as a gift. With every purchase of any MyPillow product with the promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, get a free copy of Mike Lindell's autobiography, What Are the Odds? From Crack Addict to CEO. I've read that book. It's an amazing story. Yeah, that's right. With the promo code KANE. That's on top of the special, on top of the deal, and that is with any product, a free copy of Mike Lindell's autobiography, What Are the Odds? From Crack Addict to CEO. You can at mypillow.com at checkout. You can do that, as well as you can order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE, KANE. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, good morning. Louis from Plantation. Man, this last caller that you tore apart logically about, just this whole racial situation, the way Biden said exactly that. He actually said it. Only a black female is going into the Supreme Court. That's his pool of candidates. That's pretty tragic.
In fact, that should be challenged by the Supreme Court. Is it constitutional to say that only black women need apply for the Supreme Court? I think that should be challenged and brought to the Supreme Court. I think that's racial discrimination.
Absolutely. And on top of that, let's just use the everybody always said Trump is the racist. If Trump said those words about I'm only going to put a white man in the Supreme.
Oh my goodness, or woman. Oh yeah, Ruth Bader Ginsburg has passed away, and I am announcing that only a white woman will be replacing her. Oh my goodness, the earth would shake. But let me tell you, we find out today that her husband, who's a Boston Brahmin, who's one of the most, that's like Anderson Cooper elite, okay? That's like blue blood. That she's a blue blood through marriage. Her husband is a descendant of Supreme Court Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes, who's one of the most famous of Supreme Court justices. And also her husband, and this means her children, are descendants of a member of the Continental Congress that gave us the Declaration of Independence with John Hancock, John Adams, Ben Franklin, and the whole crew of great Americans. If a Republican had a descendant, even by marriage, from the Continental Congress, all we'd be hearing from CNN and Joy Reid at MSNBC is how that Declaration of Independence discriminated against women and blacks, and it's not even mentioned. They don't want you to know how privileged she is, because they want her to be a disenfranchised person who was working the drive-thru at McDonald's all day and going to law school at night, is the image they're trying to portray here.
Yeah, and one more thing I just want to add about this, the pornography thing and the way she's ruled historically in her career as a judge. I had a friend of mine trying to debate it with me last night, and I said, well, listen, the reality is, so this person is going for a Supreme Court. A lot of judges, his contention was that, a lot of judges have ruled like that. I go, that's fine, but this judge is actually going for the Supreme Court. And now you have to really dissect and look at her with a microscope, and that's where the difference lies. They go, this person is running for the top dog office in our justice system. I said, that's a whole different angle.
That's right. And I think I stumbled on something. Is it constitutional to nominate someone for a job based on skin color alone?
No, I would.
Well, listen, you're in trouble because you're calling me from Plantation, and I am not making this up. There is a group in Broward County who for years want the name of Plantation changed because they say it's racist. And I'm serious. And Plantation, I used to live in Plantation, and my wife went to South Plantation High School. Plantation is named Plantation because when the first developers went there, they had large lots that they called acres, and they called it Plantation Acres. They had large lots. It's no racial thing there. Hey, listen, thanks for the call. Take care. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Coral Springs.
Jeff from Coral Springs, the home of Wings Plus on Sample Road. What's up, Jeff?
Hey, I was wondering what your thoughts are about the dollar maybe not being like the reserve currency maybe a couple of years down the road because...
Oh, it's over. It's over then. America, yeah. That when Biden was talking about the New World Order the other day, that may be very well what he was talking about. Yeah, if the dollar is no longer that, a lot of people don't understand this. The U.S. dollar is the international form of currency used for the big transactions, purchasing oil and things like this on a large scale. And if they replace it, the dollar is going to be worth a lot less real quick.
As a kid, I knew people from England who came to America shortly after they lost their status of being the reserve currency. And they said that the economy shrunk like crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't think anybody's even thinking about that who's politically...
Oh, yeah, no, people are thinking about it. People are thinking about it, and that would be devastating to the American economy. If you have gold, silver, and platinum from William Youngerman, though, that will be incredibly valuable.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, yeah, there's... And wouldn't surprise me if Biden helped that along, taking the dollar away as the unit of international currency. Absolutely.
Well, I'm scared about it, but, you know...
Well, you know, listen, let me tell you, there are things that I worry about too, but the ones that I mostly worry about are things that I have any control over. And that's one of those things that is so far out of the realm of my influence and control that if it becomes a more serious issue, you know, there's another thing they're doing that's going to be devastating. They're moving to start a United States digital currency. The federal government is talking about this. You know, a United States crypto as opposed to paper money.
Up anytime they don't like you. It's terrible.
Yeah, they'll cancel your cash. Exactly. You know, all these people in the crypto, anything that people find to make 10 cents off of, the government's going to look to get their cut. This whole thing with crypto, just like the internet, is the deep state. Okay, the deep state and the political establishment are behind crypto. The CIA use it for all their operations and everything. They knew all along that eventually they were going to take control of it. Just like the internet. Hey, listen, appreciate the call from Coral Springs. Good morning, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, hey, Conservative Doug, what's up?
Hi. You know, I just would like to say, weigh in on that. Your conversation with that woman about slavery was brilliant. I always wonder, how come you have any Jews complaining about being slaves or Christians being eaten by lions? Or, you know, it seems like...
yeah, I mean, we gotta go talk to the Romans. We gotta go talk to the Italians. Yeah. Shouldn't we at least get free Roman holidays, us Christians, for all those Christians that the Romans fed to the lions?
It never ends, but the blacks use it. And
everyone uses it. Yes, they forget, yeah.
With this Miss Jackson crying, she's been pampered her whole life, and she's not used to anybody saying anything to make her upset. I don't think she's qualified for this.
Well, if you do not know what a woman is, you're not qualified to have any professional job.
Not ready for those kind of questions, I think, then.
I mean, if these, for example, if these NCAA lady swimmers bring a case to the Supreme Court over Leah Thomas, and Ketanji doesn't know what a woman is, how can she render an opinion?
She's trying not to say that. Obviously, she's
like for example, the Super Bowl. I don't know anything about football. I cannot tell you the name of one single player on one team. Aaron Rodgers. Okay, I got one. One guy. I can name one guy. Render an opinion on who would win a Super Bowl. I have no way to do that. And maybe. I don't know. All right. Hey, listen, Doug, appreciate the call. Good morning. Is this Janet Cimarelli?
This is Janet Cimarelli. Good morning.
Janet Cimarelli. It's time for the health report from AJ's Natural Wellness Shop at the Festival Marketplace. What's up, Janet? What do you have for us today?
Okay, good stuff, unusual stuff. So, do you remember when people used to remark on vibe, that there's a certain vibe in a room? Well, yesterday I talked about a wearable to raise your glutathione levels. The wearables I talked about, they change your vibe. Oxygenation changes your vibe. And so we're going to be talking at Health Matters, the radio show tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, about changing your vibration. So when you raise your vibration, think about what that does for your health. Raising your vibration changes your brain waves, changes essentially your mood, changes your outlook, changes
I thought
so
Tom Brady
many things
retired.
that have an impact on your good health. So change your vibration. Come in and talk to me. I'll be at AJ's today, 12 to 5, and I'll talk to you about the X39 wearable. I'll talk to you about raising glutathione levels, and we'll talk about the possibilities for your good health by raising your vibration.
Yeah, and there's a sale going on right now, a spring sale at AJ's Natural Wellness Shop at the festival. Can you tell people about that, Janet?
Okay, it's big time. 20%
See, tells you what I know. Tom Brady's back. I didn't know.
Vitamin supplement in AJ's. 20% off all of
Wow.
hair care, skin care, all of that, and 50% off on all of the groceries. So come on in, save some money, and learn some really fabulous.
Well, AJ's Natural Wellness Shop is in the Festival Marketplace, the festival just east of the Turnpike, south side of Sample. And AJ's is easy to find inside. Head back towards the food court. Right before the food court, look west. AJ's is in front of the information booth. You can also call 954-317-1851. 954-317-1851. All right, Janet, have a great day. We'll talk tomorrow. All right, take care.
FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Brian
Be right back.
here. When it comes to auto repair, you want a garage that you can trust. Someone that will only do work on your car when your car needs work. Introducing Champaign Automotive in Boca Raton, the latest sponsor of the Steve Kane Radio Show. Tom called in on the radio to tell us about his experience with Champaign Automotive.
Hi, this is Tom from Tamarack.
Hey, Tom from Tamarack, what's up?
I just want to tell you guys something. I spent the last 2 days trying to get brakes for my car. I was leaving the house yesterday to go try another place that had a lower price. They wanted $800 for the brakes. And that advertisement came on for Champaign. I live in Western Tamarack. I said, let me take a drive up there. Well, I was almost blown over how friendly, honest, old school these people are.
Old school, that's really the term that really describes it.
But let me tell you, the guy I had gone to previously won $800. He said, well, you need to take your power steering fluid, and Ed, the owner, put the car up on the lift, pulled the wheels, said, you don't need brakes. And I about fell over.
Wow, well, tell me the end of the story. You got me hooked.
So it wasn't that your vehicle was misdiagnosed at the other place. You were dealing with a crook.
Oh, absolutely. This guy wanted to sell me everything but a washing machine. I don't want that.
Now, this is our new sponsor. We have wanted for a long time to have an auto repair shop. When it comes to auto repair, that is the most difficult category for us to find as an advertiser, because most are like this guy you were dealing with the other day over in Tamarack, they're crooks. And we found Champaign Automotive, Ed, who's the owner.
If you're new, make sure you subscribe, everyone. If you've not, please like the video.
So I appreciate you calling in and telling us the good story. Now, Champaign Automotive, they're in Boca off Spanish River Boulevard, immediately west of Dixie Highway. The number is 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate.
Oh, man.
With 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's oldest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call, go toll free. Dial 1-888-GO-KANE 1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE 1. And now, here's...
Indeed. All right. We are back 1 minute after 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 45 years on the radio this year, the Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane, you with us, Steve? Oh, good. Oh, man, I tell you, phones have been hot today, so I think we might have helped some callers today.
Is there going to be any discussion on the major story of the day, the Ukrainian?
Well, of course we'll talk about that, yeah. We're doing it now. I mean, now
that it looks like you're going to lose your bet, tell the audience.
I didn't make I don't gamble. You're the degenerate gambler. Which one?
Strong opinion on how this war, and that's what it is, a war, is going to turn out. And
oh yeah, okay. What Biden's? Oh, they're setting up. Okay. What?
That Zelensky was going to get creamed, and that they...
No, that was not my prediction. And by the way, the war is not over. No, what my prediction has been from the beginning, from the first moment that the war started, was that Biden, NATO, and Putin are setting up a second Cold War. So what Biden is doing today is setting up a second Cold War with Russia, and that's what's going on. This war will never be totally resolved. This is going to be a war in Ukraine that goes on for years and years and years. It's going to be, there'll be a ceasing of hostilities from time to time, but this is going to be a conflict that goes on for about 25, 30 years, maybe 40. Yeah, I mean, so no, that was not my prediction.
I don't think it's going to last that long. No, well, but you viewed Zelensky as a loser in this.
Well, he's a crook. He's a crook. I mean, he's corrupt. There's that. Like everyone else in Ukraine's government. But but hey, listen, our president's a crook too, who's corrupt. But no. He'll they're going to have a permanent state of war, and I wouldn't be so sure that Russia has lost this war.
Well, the writing's on the wall. But you agree that you thought Russia.
Well, they are winning.
Who?
Russia's winning because Putin.
And not in the papers I read.
Well, the papers are liars. What Putin wants is the Cold War back too, just like Biden and all the rest. He wants a state of hostilities between Russia and NATO, which includes the United States. He wants that. He has partnered with China and in an attempt to bring down NATO and the United States. He wants this. Not conquer, if he does not conquer Ukraine, which he still may do. What they're talking about now is him taking, what is that Donbass region, that he's going to hold on to that, which is a big chunk of Ukraine. So no,
what was his holdings yesterday are slipping away. The Ukrainians are taking the territory back. But anyway, time will tell.
It's not over. It's like the Brits lost here, they lost there, but then they came back for the big win. I wouldn't write off Putin, although his defense minister has gone missing. His minister of defense has disappeared. So, yeah. I don't know. I don't think he's on vacation. Yeah, maybe he defected.
Dictator, that's what happens.
Yeah, no, but I would not be so. And what Biden is doing is setting up his family financially for the rest of their lives. That's why he's going to Europe. And I'll tell you another thing too. I do not have. No, this is Biden's life. Everything Biden's done is to get paid.
He's got his family set up 50 times over.
No, they've pissed through all the money. If you read the Miranda Devine's book, they've pissed through all that money. It's true. I do not believe that Jen Psaki has COVID. I think Jen Psaki is pretending to have COVID to do damage control over the Supreme Court nominee that's being derailed, that has a good chance of not being confirmed now. They're in chaos. Biden's in chaos.
If you want to talk about what I think is the most significant story of the day, it's kind of melded into the background for now. But have you heard any updates on Clarence Thomas's health?
No, he's still in the hospital, last I heard.
I don't like it. That's the story to watch.
Steve Kane Show.
Is watching it at this point.
No.
There will be soon. If there is a problem with his health, it's really going to set off a life or death issue in this struggle for survival.
Clarence Thomas will never resign no matter what his health is.
I agree. Well, if he's dead.
Well, then, yeah, but I haven't heard that.
Well, we don't know. They haven't given any details about his condition.
He had some type of infection. Some type of infection.
Infection, that covers a lot of territory.
Yeah. You know, there's if you're on hold.
Imagine what would have to happen, just to carry through this thought to its end, and see if we get some comments from the audience. It would be a question of whatever Clarence Thomas has. Can he drag out his term till the next presidential election?
Well, yeah, and the Supreme Court yesterday refused to even acknowledge whether or not he's still in the hospital. So we don't really, I mean, I'm assuming he's still in the hospital, but we haven't, but there's been no updates.
Is a sleeper, and I don't think anybody's paying attention. That's why I always like, with this show, I like to be on the cutting edge.
Oh, I'm paying attention.
It's a big story to watch because, see, what the Clarence Thomas situation does is point out how insignificant how insignificant this Jackson or whatever.
Oh, no, she's very significant. Ketanji.
No, Ketanji did. First of all, now I just want to make sure, because sometimes your positions change overnight, which is good, because I like to think that some of it is my influence. But I think that this thing, it doesn't matter. She's a liberal. She's going to get confirmed by them.
It does matter. She's light on pedos and child pornographers and. It's true. It's not fun, Steve. It's true. It's true.
It is not going to affect the outcome of.
Oh, you're wrong. You're wrong. You've been watching Ukraine and not the hearing. That's why. You know, you're not. That's why. And yesterday was another devastating day for her. Ketanji's in big trouble, and.
Going to get. Let's get down to the name. She is not going to lose.
Oh.
She's going to win Romney's vote.
No way. Not after that pedo stuff. Not after that kitty porn stuff. Mm-mm. And yesterday was another devastating day. She needs 50 U.S. senators to say that a woman who was sympathetic to child pornographers should be on the Supreme Court. 50. She needs to get every Democrat. Just one Democrat. Sinema could stop it. Manchin could stop it. They need every Democrat. I don't think they're going to get it.
They will get it.
Okay. Well, let's take some calls and see what the callers think. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, David from Tamarack. So, in reference to Sleepy Joe Biden, his master plan, I think you're giving him too much credit, Brian. I think his master plan is to have some chocolate chip ice denial. Putting together a plan that he wants to have a Cold War for the next 20 years. It's completely senile.
No, but
everybody knows that Biden's a jerk, so it's a cheap shot in terms of the discussion.
No.
Bree, what is the issue? Obviously, he's not qualified to be president.
Master plan to do something in the future because he's not capable right now of planning anything.
This is what's going on. This thing I'm talking about, it's not just wild speculation. They want to have. We just ended this 20-year war, and the military-industrial complex and the deep state want another one, and it's going to be Cold War II, NATO versus Russia all over again, and the new Iron Curtain is Ukraine area. That's it. That's it.
Forward?
The people around him do. Yeah, sure. Yeah, not him personally. He just needs to know. He just wants to make sure they got his bank account information for the deposits. That's all he cares about. Pay me.
But as I say, it's a meaningless discussion. We agree, all of us. There is a consensus among us that Biden's an incompetent nincompoop.
Oh, I don't
agree with that. And
Steve Kane Show.
And also that Biden is
Steve Kane Show.
capable of conducting a long-range effort in this war that he can win at the end. I don't think he's going to win. I think we're going to win.
No, there's not going to be a conclusion. This is going to be Ukraine is going to be like a mix between Vietnam and Korea. You know, where we still have that DMZ hostile thing between North and South Korea. This will never end with Russia and NATO. There's going to be this new fake conflict, just like the first Cold War that we lived through, and it's to make money for the donors to the Democrats.
Push comes to shove, you're going to see that someone on either side is going to intercede in this thing, whether it's an officer or an official or somebody that Putin has slighted over the years. Somebody is going to keep this thing from...
The overthrowing of Putin fantasy. You know, the overthrowing of Putin fantasy. And okay. Hey, caller, thanks so much for calling. You have anything? All right, from Tamarack. Take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
McAllen, Texas. Ivan Diaz. Good morning.
All right, from Texas. What's up, Texas?
I got a quick question. I've been watching the hearings. I wonder if she just sympathized with this child porn people, whoever they were. Oh. You think she's following a protocol?
There's two possibilities. Okay, slow down. They talk fast in Texas. There's two possibilities. Why is Ketanji sympathetic to these child pornographers? There's two possibilities, in my opinion. One we've talked about. Well, I talked about both of them actually yesterday, but one of them is this. Someone in her life has some connection to that type of behavior that she and she relates to them and is sympathetic to them. The other possibility, and the other possibility, and none of the senators got into this. I was very surprised. They went through all these cases where she gave 3 months to one child pornographer and other light sentences to the others. I'd like to see what the skin color was of those defendants that she let off the hook with the child pornography. It could be a black thing, too, with her.
Anyway, it's not a good thing for her. Have a good day.
Okay, hey, wait, don't go anywhere. I got some advice for you. You ready? When you ask questions, wait for answers. I mean, expect answers. I mean, you really didn't want answers from the questions. You asked a couple questions and you really weren't interested in the answers. That's rude. That's rude. All right, okay, take care. I want some of that Texas hospitality. Good morning, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. Barry.
Oh, hey, attorney Barry Siegel is with us, who has his workshop coming up. Good morning, Barry.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Excellent.
Very good. Yeah, Brian, as you mentioned, just over a couple weeks, we're going to have our first estate planning living trust workshop in quite a while. It's going to be on April 12th. At 2 p.m. at the South County Civic Center in Delray Beach. And at that workshop, we discussed everything you really need to know about setting up a living trust, updating your living trust, what language it should have, what language you need to make sure you have in your powers of attorney and your healthcare documents, why many estate plans don't work, and how you can make sure that your estate plan will work, not just now, but in the future, when the time actually comes where you need it to work, either at time of incapacity or when you or your loved one passed away. to make sure that we avoid the dreaded probate and dreaded court process of guardianship, and to make sure that the assets that you leave to your children and grandchildren stay with them and don't end up going to unintended heirs, such as your future ex-son-in-law or your future ex-daughter-in-law. Plus, those who attend will have the opportunity to get a discount certificate off of any estate planning that they may ultimately.
And of course, you don't want your estate to go to your wife's next husband either. That's a big one for people too. Now, Attorney Barry Siegel's Living Trust Seminar, Steve and I have been to many of these. They are informative as they are interesting and entertaining as well. And you will find that Attorney Barry Siegel and the Siegel Law Group are thorough beyond imagination when it comes to these this type of planning. If you happen to be a snowbird who's in Florida for this for the great weather this time of year, go to, okay? You got a property here, you got a property in New York or Connecticut or wherever, Pennsylvania, you want to go to. Now, the Living Trust Seminar is free, but it will fill up. There is limited seating, so Barry asks that you call and make a reservation. And when you call to make the reservation, they'll give you detailed directions. It's in Delray Beach at the South County Civic Center, Tuesday, April 12th from 2 to 3. And here's the number to the Siegel Law Group, 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. And call and make that reservation today. We're getting closer, and there's going to be one morning we say, good morning, what do you have for us, Barry? And he's going to say, the Living Trust Seminar is filled. So you want to call and make your reservation before then. All right, Barry, have a great day. We'll finish out the week tomorrow. All right, take care, take care. Nancy Pelosi really let the cat out of the bag yesterday. Let me play this clip. This is Nancy Pelosi on an interview talking about dinner with her husband.
And to this day, my husband, Paul, was born and raised in San Francisco. I was born and raised in Baltimore. To this day, he likes to dine at 8, and I like to eat at 5:30. Like a peasant.
Like a regular person, a peasant. So here she is. She must have been drinking, must have been taking the whatever she's doing, the ox. I don't know what she's doing, but she finally referred to the American people in the way that she feels that peasants. If you have dinner before 8, you're a peasant. I never eat dinner. You don't eat dinner that late either, Steve, do you? You're a peasant. Well, Nancy Pelosi thinks of you as a peasant, unless you. Those of us who have dinner are peasants, and those who dine, well, I don't know. They're the elite. Just like they're like. Now, my daughter actually sent me some audio to play on the show. Yeah, she does. My daughter sends me stuff sometimes. I don't typically credit her. My daughter Emily, and she sent me a text message of Governor Newsom on TikTok. Governor Newsom, listen.
So today we're announcing a $9 billion tax refund to tens of millions of Californians. $400 for each registered vehicle that an individual owns, up to 2 vehicles. That direct relief will address the issue that we all are struggling to address, and that's the issue of gas prices, not only here in our state, but of course all across this country. This direct relief is on top of the $10+ billion that we have distributed over the last year.
Plumber Mike, $5 super chat. Thank you. I want to thank Plumber Mike.
Close to $20 billion of direct tax relief here in the state of California. And by the way,
trying to
we're
buy
building
off
direct
voters.
tax relief by also providing the opportunity for transit agencies to provide upwards of 3 months of free public transit, and also accelerating efforts to increase investments in pedestrian and bicycles.
Okay, so they're going to give you $400 for each car you have in your family. This is all to help with the gas prices. And my daughter sent me that audio, and she sent me a text message, and she said she had an idea. Why doesn't he just lower the gas prices? You know, as opposed to sending out $20 billion to people to defer the price of gas, right? I mean, come on. Oh my goodness.
That suggestion is really inflationary.
Yeah.
That's the problem to begin with. Paying people, in other words, the government paying people to ease their pain in exchange for votes.
Yeah, exactly. And it's inflationary because you give poor people this kind of money, what do? They go spend it immediately, and it causes, and it makes the, But, eliminate the gas tax in California. Oh, my goodness. And, $400 in California, depending on your size car, is only about 3 tanks of gas. Yeah.
Well, it's passing the buck, and in lieu of good policy, what's needed is a change in policy. We all know what's needed is to bring back the way things were the day Biden took office, or the day before Biden.
Yeah. Well, I was on Inauguration Day, I went up to Mar-a-Lago to see President Trump, and I saw President Trump his last 15 minutes of his first term. Took a picture. I got one of the last photographs of President Trump in his first term there. But I filled my car up before I went to Mar-a-Lago. It was $1.59 a gallon. And I took note of that because President Trump had talked about how gas prices were going to go. And I thought he was being a little crazy. He said $5, $6 a gallon. And it's over $5 a gallon for super unleaded here in Florida already. Well over, in California they broke $7. And I mean, it's getting expensive. I'm really, I am really dreading filling up my car. It's pretty frightening, and the Democrats are high-fiving over this because they think it's going to put us in those $50,000 electric cars, But there he is, Governor Newsom. He's not a peasant. He's related to Pelosi. He dines at 8, as opposed to those of us who eat dinner who are peasants.
Unfortunately, in the Democratic Party,
he's going to run. He'll probably run for president. This idiot. With his skinny pants. Oh, yeah. I don't know why you think it's a good thing that Biden is going to Europe to make some deal with Ukraine and Russia. This is like the beginning of the end, this Biden. They call it a summit.
Some of this is the question, the difference between our two opinions is based on perspective. Mine is, I think, is a lot more cheery than yours, which doesn't really address what was right. But I think that I think the position taken by the other NATO countries, if they come down strong on one side or another, could definitely push Biden. They're only looking for somebody
to pay him. Steve, this is what's happening, okay? These short-term victories that Ukraine is having, this is only so that Ukraine can con NATO into giving them help. Like, look, we're winning. We got something going here. Putin is pulling back and letting Ukraine look. He wants a conflict with the United States. Yes, in the brief time we're in right now. Yes.
Crazy, Brian. You're getting like these conspiracy nuts.
Well, okay. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Paul from Tampa.
Hey, Tampa.
What's up?
How's it going? Hey, Steve. How are you?
Good.
Hey, Steve. I've been listening to you for 25 or so plus years, and Brian as well, since about 95.
A lot of patience.
You're a newbie to the program. 25 years. You just started listening.
I just want to thank you both for being there all these years. You provide a lot of good entertainment.
What's your name? Paul. We haven't heard from you in years. You used to call all the time.
Yeah, I started working a real early morning job.
You're calling from Tampa, Florida. Yeah, exactly.
Interfering with your Steve Kane show, too.
I never go to Tampa because I'm terrified to drive over the Skyway Bridge. I am so scared of that bridge.
You don't have to go on that bridge to get to Tampa. You can get to Tampa from 75.
Yeah, but anywhere you go, you got to drive. I've driven on that bridge so many times. Do you know that bridge, Steve? The Skyway? Oh, my goodness. I've had nightmares about that bridge. I really have. I hate that bridge. Paul from Tampa. No, it's good to hear you, Paul from Tampa. I haven't talked to you in a long time. All right, take care. When you're the longest running radio show, sometimes you don't hear from callers anymore. You figure they just died of old age, And I do ask listeners, though, when they get their revocable living trust with Attorney Barry Siegel, to put a little amendment in there to notify the Steve Kane Show upon your passing, so we know, especially if you're one of our regular callers. No, you think I'm kidding, but we just assume. Oh, we haven't heard, like remember the Black Phantom? I'm sure he's gone.
Appeared we took note of that.
Oh, I'm not going to say who this is on the air, but one of our listeners passed away. I don't want to mention it on the air. This particular one, I'll tell you off the air. One of the people we don't deal with on the air, but you and I have dealt with over the years off the air, I believe has passed away. I'll tell you. We did have I'll tell you who after the show. I'll tell you after the show. I don't want to say it on the air. It's not 100%, but about a 95% chance. Yeah, I'll tell you after the show.
We'll miss.
It's someone. Oh no, it's somebody that the listeners don't know. So one of the creeps that you and I have dealt with off the air with for many, many years. That. Yeah, I know. We got a whole troop of those people. Yeah, but one of the creeps, and I'll tell you after. I'll call you after the show. I meant to tell you the other day. I was thinking about this. Something happened, and I will remind you after. I'll tell you after the show. Just remind me. I've been Nope. Yeah, but I can't, and I kind of put this together this week, and it's somebody that the listeners don't know, but you and I have been dealing with off the air for 20 plus years of problems. But I'll tell you after the show. Steve and I have a whole life off the air of dealing with people. You guys have no idea about. But I will say this though, it's time to talk about Wings Plus on Sample Road in Coral Springs. And we did lose another listener. I told you who last we saw was at Wings Plus. Cully, our listener Cully from Margate, passed away, and Cully was a very good guy and a regular at Wings Plus on Sample Road. And I got to tell you, at Wings Plus on Sample Road. They have MAGA hats and Ron DeSantis for governor, because Ron DeSantis is running again, hats at Wings Plus on Sample Road, on top of all the great food they have over there. And, Wings Plus, they've been with us here on the Steve Kane Show for about 15 years as a sponsor on this program. And they just have the best wings you'll ever have in your life. And a cool thing about Wings Plus, which is very unusual in the restaurant business, everything at Wings Plus is homemade right there on the spot. Nothing comes out of a can. That includes all of the sauces for all the different wings. You know what most restaurants do? They go to Costco and BJ's, they buy the big bulk size, huge cans, and then you can do that yourself. Wings Plus, everything homemade, including the soups. Right, the lobster bisque, the clam chowder is. The clam chowder there is amazing. Brian, the owner of Wings Plus, must be from Boston, because that clam chowder is absolutely amazing over there. Everything homemade right on the spot. Now, Wings Plus is located in Coral Springs, about a mile west of University on the south side of Sample Road. When you stop in, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Suffer from neuropathy? Maybe you do and you don't even know it. Do you have numbness, pain, burning, or tingling in your hands and feet? Muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching? Are you not sleeping? Does it feel like pins and needles in your hands and feet? Maybe you have no feeling at all. The symptoms can make life unbearable, but there is help at the Lighthouse Medical Center. Call 754-222-6642 for a no-charge consultation and say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. 754-222-6642. Online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. Steve Kane radio listeners love Champaign Automotive Repair in Boca.
I went over to a Champaign Automotive, and I gotta say that this man is the most fair mechanic I have dealt with.
Now, one of our listeners that you guys have never heard, who's, we got a bunch of people that we deal with off the air all the time, and this particular person was a real pain in the butt, passed away.
solutions. Protect yourself and your loved ones from losing your hard-earned assets to the government, attorneys, and greedy in-laws. You are invited to attend Attorney Barry Siegel's Living Trust Seminar. It's free and will be held Tuesday, April 12th from 2 to 3 p.m. at the South County Civic Center in Delray Beach. All living trust plans are not created equally. Find out why at Attorney Barry Siegel's free Living Trust Seminar. To make your reservation for this free Living Trust Seminar, call the Siegel Law Group right now. Toll free 1-855
Mary? Okay.
3782.
Yeah, Brian is from Valley Stream, Long Island.
3782. Seating will be limited, so call now to reserve your seat. 1-855-352-3782. 1-855.
Brian Walsh, he owns Wings Plus, not Brian me.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search.
All right, I got a story here to get you excited, Steve. This is in the Daily Mail. Risk of Putin being deposed by security service coup is growing every week amid chaos at the Kremlin. Yeah, in the wake of the botched Ukraine war, whistleblower claims Putin's position as Russian president is threatened. 4 weeks into the war, with limited Russian progress, security agents in Russia are said to be disillusioned with the sanctions. The agents have no interest in seeing Russia return to the days of the Soviet Union, and they're saying that he's about to be deposed. There's your fantasy of things, you know. Yeah, but you know, I'm telling you, Steve, all this stuff about the Russians losing, that's absurd. Okay, right as Biden's over there, the Russians have.
I read this morning that did you know we'd sunk one of their major boats?
We, United States Navy, is fighting Russia?
We're on the same side.
Oh, you're on the side of Ukraine. Okay, you're like Ukrainian. Now yeah. Oh, okay.
But we gotta. That's what has to. That's gonna make it better when that happens. When we act more in unison with Ukraine, that's when the problem's gonna.
No. I believe that Putin is working with Biden, not directly. They don't have to talk. They can just wink and nod. And there's a pullback here to give hope to. Listen, the Western powers are not going to give boatloads of money to Ukraine if it's about to collapse. So it looks like Ukraine is having some victories here, so they can get the money. If the country is not going to exist in a week, they're not going to get the money. And Russia's done a
doing this. How long have you been doing this job? How long?
Like a couple of weeks.
This is, well, it's more than that. A lot more than that. The point is, I don't want to say you've been doing it too long, but it's gotten into your brain, this paranoia thing. That usually comes from the listeners. The listeners come up with all these paranoid theories that they share them on the air and we make fun of them.
You think I'm paranoid?
I think your brain is starting to corrupt.
Steve, Ukraine, by the way, is Biden bringing the MiG jets with him? I don't think so. Ukraine, if...
hold on, since you asked a question, there's an interesting point to be made here. I think Biden's attitude when he addresses the
Ukraine, the NATO,
I think his attitude is going to make a big difference. If the NATO gets
oh my goodness,
this idea, they can push Biden into being more with all the stuff he says he's sending us, but it hasn't been said.
Steve, okay, here's the thing with this, okay? I'm trying, and I mean this. This isn't like some paranoid thing.
No, they're paranoid.
I don't know. Well, that means you could be paranoid and you don't know it. I don't know. Biden wants to give boatloads of money to Ukraine. NATO wants to accept the money because they're corrupt. Okay? Putin wants there to be friction between NATO and the Russians too. Okay? He wants it.
It's not the big thing.
Oh, it is to these guys. Oh yeah. What is it? To Zelensky and give me a break.
Food, water, and equipment to fight with.
Maybe Biden could bring Zelensky a Gillette razor too while he's at it, when he's trying to look like Fidel Castro in his beard with his green clothes. But
Tempting your voice.
for Zelensky, yes.
Man.
Because they're corrupt. Because they're corrupt public officials.
Corrupt my butt.
So, Steve, if Ukraine is about to collapse to Russia and will not exist in 2 or 3 weeks, you can't get the money from the United States and NATO. They have to appear to be winning something so that people will feel that there's a future to give them money. That's what this is all about. Russia's not losing anything. They have withdrawn on purpose. They've done a tactical withdrawal for propaganda purposes. Now, I saw an interview yesterday on another one of your topics with Bobby Kennedy Jr. I watched an interview with Bobby Kennedy Jr. yesterday, who's a very interesting... Yeah, Bobby Kennedy's son, Bobby Kennedy Jr. Yeah, he talks like Katharine Hepburn now. Kind of like Katharine Hepburn.
Yes, for a while.
Yeah, but he was interviewed by Megyn Kelly about the assassination of President Kennedy and his father. Because his dad was Bobby Kennedy. So, and he laid out a very detailed thing that I'll summarize, and I thought it was very fascinating. He was talking about both. Now this was Bobby Kennedy Jr. and he was talking about the assassination of President Kennedy and his father. And this is an obsession of his, obviously, over the years. And he was a young man. He was like 7 when President Kennedy was shot. So he knew them both well. And this has been a lifelong thing from him. And I think he gets information and things from people that we don't generally get because, people want to tell him he's a Kennedy and all this stuff. And it relates to what's going on in Ukraine. He said that the military-industrial complex and CIA killed both of them. And he said a month before President Kennedy was assassinated, he had signed an order to withdraw all U.S. personnel from Vietnam, even though there was pressure to send. Yeah, but I believe it when it comes from Bobby Kennedy Jr. And let me finish the whole story, though. And he said just after President Kennedy died, Johnson sent in 250. And he said his father, now this I didn't really know too much about Bobby Kennedy. I wasn't even alive in 1968, okay? But he said his father, Bobby Kennedy, that his primary platform position was to get out of Vietnam. That's what he was based. That was his biggest issue, getting out of Vietnam. They killed him, and then what did Nixon do? Sent another 250,000 troops into Vietnam and prolonged the war for years. And he said that the CIA killed them both. And he said Oswald was CIA, and he talked about the defection. He said, remember, Oswald defected to the Soviet Union. He believes Oswald is the shooter for President Kennedy, not Bobby, obviously, and was CIA and went to, this is what, he told this very detailed story I thought was fascinating, and I did not know that Oswald's Russian wife was the daughter of a KGB guy. I did not know that, but she was. Bobby Kennedy said this, and he said what happened with Oswald, the CIA had a Russian spy inside the CIA headquarters in Langley, and they couldn't figure out who it was. And they set up the whole defection of Oswald and put a special track on the Oswald files to see, and they figured the KGB would wonder, who is this guy, that's defecting? Why is he defecting? Why should we take him? And they were hoping that would ferret out the KGB spy at the CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia, which it didn't do. But he said it was the opposition to the Vietnam War by both President Kennedy and Bobby Kennedy that is the reason the CIA and the military-industrial complex killed him. I've heard that theory before with many others, but coming from Bobby Kennedy, I take that as the leading credible theory because I think his whole life has been about this. His whole life was defined and affected by it.
Fiction.
No, but see, the reason I bring that story up is because there's a similar thing going on today. We just ended a 20-year war, which means that the military-industrial complex lost this big cash cow, the war on terror. They want a new Cold War with Russia over this Ukraine issue to get the business going again. Just like Vietnam, just like the war on terror, this is the military-industrial complex and the deep state pushing for a new Cold War for money. Just like in Vietnam. This is what's going on here. This same thing.
To back that up?
What Bobby?
With a presentation.
No, it was a conversation he had with. It was in a conversation with Megyn Kelly that he had this week. But and he wasn't talking about the Ukraine situation. I'm adding that into it. But I'm just telling you that this Ukraine war, it's the same way they got us into Vietnam in so many ways, and it's all fake. This is all fake for the military-industrial complex. I know that sounds crazy and paranoid to some people, but it doesn't mean that it is paranoid and crazy.
In an absence of supportive evidence, it's crazy. I mean, if you had,
I think there's lots of evidence. All the corrupt business dealings that are going on with government officials in Ukraine over the years, right? Biden with Burisma, Paul Manafort had the Ukrainian crooked deals. They've all got crooked deals over there. Don Jr. was talking about this in Bongino at the Trump event I was at on Saturday.
I have no doubt that there was a lot of corruption. If I look, I mean, Biden is the one that was heading the corruption, for crying out loud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So now.
Evidence of that.
Yeah. So.
So
well, no. What I'm telling you, no. What I'm telling you is, Kennedy and both Kennedys were killed because they opposed escalation in Vietnam, military-industrial complex. It's true. I mean, I believe it. Because Eisenhower in his farewell speech is when he did the beware of the military-industrial complex, and then they killed Kennedy. Those people, and those same people, Steve, are pushing for this fake war. The same people that lied about WMDs in Iraq that got us involved in that nonsense.
Both agree. Let's start with something we agree on. Biden, we both agree, is totally corrupt. He doesn't seem to be pushing to get us in the war. He's afraid to move.
They don't want to. No, Steve. They're not. They don't want They want a cold war again, not a physical war. They want a cold war. That's big money for these people. We're going to have a whole spy operation over there again. We're going to have military buildup.
This place out. We're going to have.
That's right. And that's why it happened. That's why this happened. That's why Ukraine was attacked by, and Putin benefits from it because it solidifies his position, having.
Let's see. We have a break coming up, in which we're going to get the gold report, which is more important than all this. Just a joke.
Well, let me tell you, the gold report, and because this talk, and we'll break, but I just say this. I got a call earlier. Was a guy very upset. They're talking about making the dollar no longer the international currency, right? And if that happens, gold is going to just go to the moon with that, because the dollar, the collapse of that will cause the collapse of the dollar as we know it, which of course would cause the metals to skyrocket: gold, silver, platinum, palladium. All right, listen, we'll I'm not an expert on those things, but William Youngerman is. We'll take our break, come back with the gold report with William Youngerman. Yes, after this.
AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Attention seniors and those who care about them. How would you like to have instant access to a Medicare advocate at the touch of a button? You can for less than $1 a day with I Will Advocates. I Will Advocates will assist you with doctor appointment scheduling, pharmacy issues, billing problems, plan benefits, Medicare applications. They'll even help when you're in the hospital. I Will Advocate clients are family, and they go to bat for their family when you need them the most. Let them be your golden guardians. Contact I Will Advocates right now online at iwilladvocates.com or call them directly, 954-345-1214. No matter where you're located throughout the state of Florida or nationwide, 954-345-1214. 954-345-1214. This is Brian Craig. I've been telling you about the great deals and incredible customer service at Friendly Tire on both new tires and used tires. One of our listeners, Antonio, went to Friendly Tire and called to share with us his experience of buying used tires at Friendly Tire in Margate. Good morning, you're on the
Hey there.
radio.
Hey, yes, Brian, I want to give you a quick testimony about the tire place up in Margate, Friendly Tire. Friendly Tire is everything you said it would be, man. I went up there and got me some used tires, and when I went up there, man, he was very courteous. My whole family's going out, man. Everything you said it was going to be, man. I appreciate you for that, man, and Mike's a great guy, man.
Oh, what's your name?
Antonio.
you and your family lots of money on tires at Friendly Tire.
Oh, no doubt, man. Thank you, my man.
Do what Antonio did. Stop into Friendly Tire and find incredible deals on both new and used tires. Give Friendly Mike a call right now. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. And Mike will give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate. Listen to just search for WWNN.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian Steve Kane here. It's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how are the metals looking?
Oh, looking very good, Brian. We've got gold up $22.30 today, closing at $1,944. We're seeing higher lows being set and higher highs being set, which is very bullish for the metals and very productive as a chart showing that for higher territory. Gold closing, silver yesterday up 35 cents. It's not $25.12. $25 being a very strong base for silver. Platinum down $3 at $1,017, and palladium closed up $17 yesterday at $20.48. There's overnight we saw a range of $19.38 all the way up to $1,959. Currently at $1,947, that's up $3. Silver up 10 cents right now at $25.22 the ounce. Platinum up $1 at $1,018, and palladium down $8, $2,440 the ounce.
Wow. So gold, silver, and platinum, very great buys today. Can you tell people, William Youngerman, quickly what different forms the metals come in for people that may be interested in getting into the metals for the very first time? What forms can they buy them in? Yeah, I'm sorry. We got a bit of a bad connection on the cell phone, but I could hear what he's talking about. They have kilo sizes, ounce coins. Silver comes in 10-ounce bars or the 1-ounce coins. It comes in many different forms, many different values, and certainly something for every budget. Now, William Youngerman opens up weekdays at 10 a.m. The number toll-free, 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. Online, williamyoungerman.com. Or stop right in, right here in Boca at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. All right, William Youngerman, we'll finish out the week tomorrow. All right, take care. Just a bad little cell there, but we got it taken care of. All right, Steve. So that's that. So that's what's going on in Ukraine. Don't get excited by these fake Ukrainian victories that are going on. And
aren't you interested in how the allies in NATO are going to react?
I know how they're going to react. They're going to react by wanting more money for planes and everything else, and weapons and high tech.
Allies is what
they're going to get behind getting paid. They're raping the United States Treasury. That's what they're behind doing, Steve. It's a big con. This whole war is a big con. It's fake. It's wag the dog. You got the most corrupt country in Europe, Ukraine, and the most corrupt man as president ever in the history of the presidency. Yeah. And remember when President Trump was over there at NATO and he reprimanded all of the heads of state over that $1 billion NATO building that they didn't need. You know, that's what they're all about, ripping off America over there. They're probably not even paying their dues anymore, NATO. Like before Trump, they probably stopped paying those again. All right. I'm sorry. I know, I know you're a Zelensky fanboy. Steve's president of the Zelensky fan club. I'm not a...
Putin.
No, Putin's a very bad guy. Steve, you're taking sides in a war between the Bloods and the Crips. It's a gang war, and you're taking sides. They're both bad.
What about the Civil War?
Well, I wasn't alive during the Civil War. Yeah, of course. No, of course, I was on the side of the Republicans, opposed to the Democrats in the Civil War. Okay? The side of Lincoln. Absolutely. No. This isn't that. This is not that. I will say this. It does have a similarity into the Civil War, and the Democrats caused them both, right? The Democrats caused the Civil War. They were the Confederates, and the Democrats have caused the Ukrainian war. You know, Biden's the man most responsible for this entire war. I mean, it's really a shame. It's really a shame, and I don't know. One day you'll see that I'm right, Steve. Not today. But eventually, you'll see that I'm right. You know, I'm for just sitting back and letting them take care of business themselves. If Ukraine is kicking so much butt, why do they? Well, if Ukraine is having all these military successes, why do they even need us? Right?
It's for the successes to continue.
They passed that spending bill like a week ago. They haven't given them 10 cents yet.
You don't find that suspicious?
Yeah, because the money is not for Ukraine. The money are for the Democrats and their donors. See, Nancy Pelosi calls us peasants, you know, and you're getting peasant news on what's going on in Ukraine. That whole bill was not for Ukraine. They were sitting up and applauding that they could finally pay off the donors after Manchin and Sinema stopped that spending bill a couple months ago.
You can quote the corruptions of the Biden administration till you're blue in the face. They're true. I'm not going to argue with that, but it's different than what's going on with people dying and starving to death and being.
Now, yeah.
Yeah, that's the other side of it that you don't want to deal with.
Yeah. Well, you know, and there's a new book out. This one's going to cause some trouble for the Bidens and the Harrises. Listen to this. A new book by a New York Times reporters. So this is a liberal book written by liberal reporters from the liberal New York Times, right? A new book by New York Times reporters Jonathan Martin and Alexander Burns reveals tension between Biden and Kamala Harris. The vice president reportedly wanted softball assignments and was angry when she was assigned to the border czar position. And according to the New York Times liberal writers in their liberal book, Kamala thinks that Biden's white inner circle has locked down on her. So
playing the race card
against. Oh, isn't that wonderful?
Joe.
Isn't that wonderful? Yeah, she's saying that the White House has a white inner circle, and that they're discriminating against her as a woman of color.
That is too wonderful.
Oh, isn't it great? Yeah, I know. I might have to read that book. Oh, I love it when Democrats go after each other. That's the best. I love. Yeah. But you know what? Do you know who's done more for Ukraine than Joe Biden? Ivanka Trump. Do you know what Ivanka Trump is doing? What she did? Ivanka Trump has sent 1 million meals, not dollars. Ivanka Trump has sent 1 million meals to the Ukrainian refugees fleeing into Poland. That's more than Joe Biden has done for him. That's Ivanka Trump, the first daughter. That's right. Living in Miami Beach. That's under lockdown. She did that. She's done more for the Ukrainian people than Biden has, that's for sure. 1 million, and these are hot meals. Right? This isn't like a bologna sandwich.
This is all
probably caviar coming from the Trumps.
People are looking at it in hindsight. You're going to find out that Trump behind the scenes has done a lot of good works in terms of this.
Absolutely.
Know about because he doesn't talk about them.
Yep. Well, listen, I got to tell you, we got a big announcement from Mike Lindell, the Thomas Edison of sleep, the inventor of the MyPillow. Listen to this. With every purchase at MyPillow.com, no matter what you purchase, no matter what MyPillow product it is or what special, you still get to take advantage of the incredible special, okay, for whatever item you buy. For example, the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper with the promo code Kane right now, 30% off and 2 free MyPillows, but you've got to use the promo code Kane. But here's the new addition. With every purchase, no matter what the product is, you also, on top of the special, get a free copy of Mike Lindell's autobiography, What Are the Odds? From Crack Addict to CEO. But you've got to use the promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. That means if you buy a pillow, which has an incredible special right now. You buy the bathrobe with 30% off. The MyPillow slippers, 50% off with the promo code Kane. You get all these great deals, and you get a free copy of Mike Lindell's autobiography, which I have read. It is very good, and the cover of it is a really cool cover. I can't quite explain it, but it's an amazing book. And you get Mike Lindell's autobiography for free with every purchase on top of the special that you're taking advantage of when you use our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879, 1-800-716-4879. All right, Steve, we just have a moment left. You want to sign us off for the day?
Well, in a moment, okay. That does it for today. As Brian has just said, we will be back to do it all over again and wind up the week tomorrow, Friday. Until then, on behalf of my partner and co-host, Brian Craig, and of course you know me, I'm Steve. See you tomorrow, and God bless Donald Trump.
Do you suffer from neuropathy? Maybe you do and you don't even know it. Do you have numbness, pain, burning, or tingling in your hands and feet? Muscle weakness? Loss of balance?
All right, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. I have to play a couple commercials because I missed a couple commercials. That's why. You're keeping track, Carl.
Call 754-222-6642 for a no-charge consultation and say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. 754-222-6642. Online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com.
Boy, Carl, you're on the clock. No, I don't think anything I said about Ukraine was paranoia at all. I think it was spot on the money. Can you imagine what kind of meals the Trumps are sending? Lobster, caviar. Well, thank you, Chaplain. Oh, man. All right, guys, I'm going to take off, but thanks for watching. Make sure you like the video. Don't leave without liking the video. I'll see you later on my podcast.